the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's new.
Dude, if you guys could share this.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
Dude, what the heck is going on with our freaking our viewership? But this never takes this long to get going.
It's Cinco de Mayo, and it's Friday.
Oh,
Cinco de Mayo.
shit.
Yeah.
Well,
about that.
I forgot about that. I didn't know we were on a holiday.
Yeah. Well, it's not really a holiday. People treat it as a holiday.
Don't be racist, Amy.
It's a reason to get drunk.
Coming from, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, racist Amy.
And you're like, holy cannoli.
And you're like, holy cannoli. Oh, mother of God.
Then we've got non-racist Olivia, at least yet. Olivia's Mexican. How do you feel about that, Olivia? I don't know. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, all of us are here. But folks, this is Matthew Spear from the host of Don't Unfriend Me, and my Mexican wife is basically sharpening her switchblade.
Hi, y'all.
She's not Mexican.
Well, she's not a real Mexican. She's got Mexican blood, but that doesn't mean she's Mexican in any way, shape, or form.
I thought she was. I didn't think she was Mexican. I thought she was something else. I thought
Italian. She was Italian.
Everyone thinks I'm Italian.
Let me guess, Cuban. Yeah. In Texas, we call that
Puerto Rican?
We call that Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. Yeah, Mexican. Well, I'm Nicaraguan, right? Mexican.
Like European Latin, like Spanish kind of like
Euro trash. Is that what you're trying to say?
Spain?
She's like Euro trash.
Yeah, like Spain. Like you.
She's not Spanish. She's got that Israeli/Italian look.
No, my grandmother was born in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Chihuahua.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, what type of dogs were there?
Oh, gee.
They were huskies.
A chihuahua, as Hayden would say.
A chihuahua.
Yes.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, Cinco de Mayo. I completely forgot. I wouldn't even have had a show tonight. I would have popped smoke and just, spent some time with the fam. But I guess, if we can start seeing some better numbers than this, if you are on, you got to share on Rumble, share on YouTube. We're gonna have a good show tonight. I mean, Olivia, I did some crime scene investigation.
Yes, you did.
And some Minority Report type stuff, folks. I mean, you're not gonna want to miss it. I mean, or we can just, do it later. By the way, we have Olivia's new avatar and t-shirt. P is for get me my pot pie. Now this can't be a t-shirt, even though it looks really good. It's not good enough for a shirt. So I'll have to play around with it.
You're not going to make that a shirt?
Not that exact one. I'll have to make it better. Yeah. I mean, there's breakage in the line. It's not perfect. It's not up to the quality of my work. Look at that. It's good. It's close.
Go into the food business. I know we sell coffee, but maybe you could go into the, talk to, who is it? Mrs. Fields? I don't know who makes pot pies. Like who's someone
pot pies?
We just Mrs. Gutierrez, right? And it wouldn't be called pot pies. It would be called pollo pot pies. 3 Ps. The 3 Ps. Instead of the 3 amigos, it's the 3 Ps. They're the 3 paisanas that are Mexican. This is great. It just totally makes sense. So we're Mexican with an Italian name who makes chicken pot pies from Southern cooking. Love it. It doesn't make any sense. It'll be successful. Oh man, changing scenes are hard. This is gonna.
Why don't you just put us in the line?
No. This is fun. Just give it a second, Olivia. You know how much fucking time I spent on this, and you're gonna quit. My God. I mean, this is like the first time we tried to have a child.
Oh,
well, that didn't. That just was one and done.
That was exactly both times. But
well, Just
Mrs.
stop.
Spears pot pies.
Stop your 3Ps. The three paisanas.
Paisan.
The paisanas.
I just didn't want more work for you.
There's always Olivia. There's always going to be more work for me, especially when you don't like embrace what we were just trying to do with you. See me talking. See, screwed it up. See me talking. So what we'll do is we'll do the 3, and then when we go off on tangents, we'll do so we'll do this one on normal, but when it gets really extensive, we'll flip it to the other one. Okay, we don't want to make people sick. Yeah. All right, folks, listen. We're not going to do a show with 39 people. I'm just not going to do it. Those days are done. Listen, 43. Folks, I've moved up in the world. So either you need to share this shit or we're popping smoke.
Yeah,
so
because it's been recently, it climbs up to like 80, 90 in the first 5 minutes normally.
Well, it's Cinco de Mayo, I guess. So I mean, and once we
still
put
points in the house. So.
Well, still points always in the house, which is always good. And I love having them here. And they're on their Still Point account. Folks, if you haven't followed Still Point, all 45 of you, please. Seriously, what the fuck's wrong with people? Cinco de Mayo. I mean, I didn't know we had that many people who were Hispanic. What do people do on Cinco de Mayo, right? I mean,
eat tacos and drink tequila.
You're so racist.
Yeah, that's what they do. That is Cinco de Mayo.
Well, they certainly don't drink Bud Light. It's Modelo.
They get drunk.
Our favorite restaurant, Casa Tequila, over in Percival. Which have you guys been there? Because that truly
where?
In Percival. It's over next to Giant. It's
you know what? We went there. That was that Mexican restaurant. Did we not like it? No, that wasn't Mexican. There was something else there.
It was the Italian restaurant.
Yeah, I didn't like the Italian. Italian was shit.
I don't know about.
No, is it good? Is it good Mexican food? I mean, because you got to understand, man. Hold on now. I'm from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Southern California. Like, if there's Mexican food anywhere, I've eaten it. So, and it's the best Mexican food in the whole entire freaking country. So,
well, I can tell
you,
good
or is it?
It's exceptional, and it's the only place worth going to, especially here in Northern Virginia. Like, I literally I recommend this restaurant to everybody, and everyone I've said you need to go here, you need to eat here. They're like, amazing food. It's not.
Is it all people from Virginia though? That's the problem.
No, it's not.
Okay, well then yes, I'll
go. And it's like local people. It's like a local spot. I mean, people go there, but it's
we're gonna go there tomorrow. We're gonna go there after the ball game. I'm just done. I'm done. I'm gonna go. I've been wanting to go out.
I was gonna make fajitas, but
but you're not Mexican.
And I recommend the cochinitas. That's always what I order.
What did you just call me?
I make the cochinitas. I hope I'm popping out
Peachy medic. I can't say that.
It's
cochinitas.
It's like I'm trying to
it's in coconut and scallions and
no. It's like slow. No, it's not. What do you call it when you put it in a crock pot? Like it's like that, but it's
slow
pork.
Cooked.
So it's like slow cooked pork. I don't think they use a crock pot, and then they put this like green sauce on it, but it's not like
a green chili sauce. Is that what you're looking for?
It is like that, but it's a little different. And they mix it with like queso, so it's like cheesy green chili sauce.
Oh, okay, I know what that is. Yeah, it's white Mexican food.
Yeah,
because Mexicans don't use queso. Mexicans don't use sour cream.
They do have queso.
I'm just letting you know, man. When you go to Mexico, you get onions, you get cilantro, you get beef, and you get a taco, and you get some pico de gallo. You don't get sour cream and fucking avocado. That's all white California shit.
Freaking Virginia, okay? It's Mexican food for Virginia.
Listen, don't get an attitude with me. I live in Houston, the worst fucking pizza in the world. There's not a good pizza place in the entire city of Houston. No, the best pizza in Virginia.
City.
Holy shit, she's not kidding. Best pizza in well, I guess it's Delaware, right?
It's Ocean City, Maryland.
Okay, so Maryland. So it is. What was that place called?
It's
on the boardwalk, and it's literally right next to the.
The John Surf Shop.
Yeah, the Ron John Surf Shop. It's right across the street. There's a pizza place. Holy shit! Greatest pizza ever. It's all wood fired. They use extra. Listen, I'm Dave Portnoy without the following. Like, I am the pizza connoisseur, right? And I like my pizza just like Dave Portnoy. It's got to have a nice firm undercarriage. It's got to be a little bit burnt on the bottom, not greasy. There's got to be more sauce than cheese. It's got to have really good flavor. It's got to have crunchy bite to it, flavorful, robust sauce. And I'll tell you, and you don't put any like feta cheese and shit on there. No, you put mozzarella. That's all you put. Fresh mozzarella, the right way, non-processed. You stick that sucker in there. Oh my God. It's got to burn the roof of your mouth. I try to watch what I eat, man. I got a large and I
the whole thing.
I pounded the whole fucking thing. I mean, I just could not stop eating. I'm like, this is the greatest. And it had artichokes, chicken, mushroom, and tomato on it. Forget about it. It was so good. Oh, I'm ready to listen. Dave Portnoy says there's the Michelin star rating. And for anybody who's my age or older, Amy, how old are you? I don't even know how old you are.
She's 2 years younger, 3 years younger than me.
Thanks, Amy, for answering
yeah.
me.
I think I'm 41. Yeah, I'm 41. That's right. I just turned 41.
Oh, 2 years younger than me.
So
When's your
wait, just
birthday?
turned 41 when?
In April,
You son of a...
When's your birthday?
Such a bullshit thing.
the 10th. Oh my gosh, it's bad that I have to like literally think about it. I don't celebrate my birthday.
See, I'm not the only one. I don't like to celebrate my birthday, and the kids and everyone are like, okay, what do you want? Nothing. I don't want anything. It just means I'm getting older. I don't care.
Well, I'm pissed. First of all, that's my cousin's birthday. Randy, happy birthday, Randy. I forgot to call. You're a good guy. I know it's almost, 25 days late, but happy birthday. When's Jacob? 11th? 15th? So, Amy, happy birthday. Mine was the 5th. You didn't call me either, so that's...
I texted
No way, you texted me, but I didn't know your birthday. I had no idea. You didn't tell anyone.
I don't
You
advertise it. I don't post it on any social media. I don't celebrate it. It's another freaking day. That's all it is.
So we're not your friend.
No, it's not that at all. You can ask Jason. I'm all like, he surprised me last year with something, and I was furious with him because I was like, I do not celebrate my birthday. Never, without fail. If I try to celebrate it, it's a disaster.
Right.
And I don't like to do it. I'm like, it's just another day. I've got kids.
We're the same way. We're the same way. I completely get it. We're the same way. We don't care either. But either way, happy birthday. All right. So here's the deal. It's Cinco de Mayo. I completely forgot. It's surprising though, because everybody else should be off, which means that we should have a nice draw. I think once we start playing the Trump stuff. So tonight we're going to go over the deposition. By the way, go to that pizza place in Ocean Beach. My God. Okay, let me finish the story.
See if I can find it.
Dave Portnoy. You guys know Dave, El Presidente, man, from Barstool Sports. I mean, the guy's freaking richer than King Midas. I mean, the guy's an amazing human being. Whether you love him or hate him, who cares? But anyway, Dave Portnoy brought up one point. The reason I asked how old you are is because you'll remember this, the Michelin star rating. And they would kind of rate 1, 2, or 3. And the rating of 1 was, it's good. It's good. So, it's good. And 2-star would be, hey, this is great. This is really good service. This is amazing. And then 3 would be, it's absolutely exceptional service. And it's lights out. Well, Dave, when he gives a 7 to a pizza, and Dave does pizza review. I mean, that's all he does. He goes in, he's like, 1 bite, everyone knows the rule. Don't want to burn the mouth. He's like, a nice firm undercarriage, a little bit greasy. Wish I had a napkin. I put it off. This is kind of Roman style. I don't think this is, I don't think this is traditional. This is football pizza, right? And then 1 bite, everybody knows the rules. And then he does like 16 other bites. And you're like, dude, I thought it was 1 bite. Never asked him the same thing. He's like, 1 bite, the rules. So he's just one of those guys. He's got that Boston, Connecticut type thing. Anyway, so he has a rule. 7 is indicative of a 1-star rating. It's good. It's good pizza. If you're in the neighborhood, you drive by and you want some pizza, go to this place. It's a 7. And then if he gives it an 8, it's like, dude, you have to try this pizza. If you're in town, you've got to try the pizza and go there. You'll love it. And then if he gives it a 9, it means drive 3 or 4 hours, fly there, wrap a vacation around it. You must have this pizza. I'm telling you right now, if you are in Virginia, if you're in Maryland, you're in Washington, D.C., you're in Delaware, you're in Pennsylvania, wherever you are, within a 3-hour drive, you need to leave your New Jersey, leave and go to Ocean City, not Ocean Beach. Ocean Beach is in San Diego. That's a longer drive than 3 hours. Go to Ocean City and go to this pizza place that Olivia can't find right now.
I don't know.
And it is
I cannot remember the name of it.
Best pizza that I have had in 3rd place. There was an amazing, and you'll be surprised at where I think some of the best pizza places I've ever had are. The second best pizza I've ever had in my life is in Japan. It was that good. And you would never think Japan would be great.
Tony's Pizza?
Maybe. Then I had a piece of pizza that came from the ship that we had from Italy, but I didn't get to go on land. So we were docked.
I'm looking at it's on. Is it on Coastal Highway? Is it or
No, it's okay. So
It was in the same shopping center as Sweet Frog. I'm gonna look up Sweet Frog.
yeah, it's on the strip, right? Where all the hotels are and all the residential areas are. That like not 108, 120 blocks of frickin' OB. It's not on the pier.
Mione's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 67th
that's what I was going to say.
That's
Is
it.
Miones? That was
Yep.
the
That's
yeah.
it.
That's it.
That's
Okay.
it. What? You don't like it?
Me?
Yeah, the
No, I
face
like
you made.
No, I
Th-
like
that-
it just fine. I've just
You,
yeah.
I didn't like your face. You made a face. What face was that?
I haven't. I think the last time I've had Mione's was probably close to 20 years ago, and I was probably drinking and don't really. I can't give it a fair. You know what I mean?
No, it's okay. I was just doing that for dramatic effect to hopefully get more people on, but I was
Let's argue.
sincerely. It's one of the best pizzas, and I'm sure Dave Portnoy has never rated it because it's out in the middle of nowhere, but he needs to. Like it's just he needs to go there and rate this
East
pizza.
Coast. He does all the East Coast ones. So
Yeah, but I mean there's some places he just won't go to rate pizza. I mean, he did Houston. He destroyed Houston. I mean, he went to Sicily and all the pizzas sucked. It was all Neapolitan. And he's like, he just got back from Sicily and he's like, this is shit. This isn't good pizza. And I'm like, dude, you're in Italy. What the hell? What do you mean it's not good pizza? But that's the thing. Americanized pizza is very different than European. But so is Mexican food. You go to Mexico, it's nothing. It's very bland. It's not spicy. I mean, it's spicy, but you add the spicy to Mexican food. It's not like necessarily built that way.
my dad and uncle, last time I was in San Diego, took me to the taco shop under the bridge.
Oh my Lord. If you don't get killed.
That was the thing. They said you are never to come down here by yourself. You must have one of your uncles
Yeah, totally.
or one of your male cousins with you. You
completely.
don't come down
You-
here.
you don't go
they
under the
make
bridge.
you walk in and they're making the tortillas right in front of you. And I'm like, can I get some sour cream? And my uncle laughed at me. There's no sour cream here. But yeah.
Yeah, you don't
None
get
of them
sour.
speak
There's
English.
no guacamole. There's no guacamole, and there's no guacamole in Mexico. They don't do that stuff. That's all. No, listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but avocado trees are fucking expensive.
Right.
I'm just saying, and you know, that's like rich. That's like having grapes during Jack the Ripper time. So, very expensive commodity, and avocados aren't really in the desert in the southern hemisphere, especially. I mean, there is, and don't get me wrong, there are plenty of avocado farms in Mexico, and they produce a shit ton of avocados for the United States, but that's where they all go. They go to the U.S. because they're expensive. They're not cheap. I mean,
Wait, I
it's
have
a
to
lot of
address
money.
this. It's not my birthday. It's really not. I'm not just
Hey,
saying
happy
it's not.
birthday, Amy. Let's go ahead and give her a happy birthday
birthday.
Not my
to
birthday.
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amy. Happy birthday to you. Well done, Olivia. You got the
I do
sync
want
on.
to say something, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I do think I said it was my birth, not on this show, but before we started the show, because I think someone was in a bad mood or something happened. I was like, well, it's my birthday. Don't be mad or something. Like, I think I did like throw it in there when it was my birthday.
I didn't hear that. I'm just too shallow and I don't care.
Not my
Too
birthday.
callow and weak-willed. Yeah, if you know,
while ago.
obviously it's just my insensitive side coming through. So,
If you're ever
It's
in
not-
Denver, go to
no offense.
Taco de Mexico.
oh,
That's the best place ever.
do we have time to talk about Taco de Mexico?
Yeah, because there's only 72 people. So
All right, well, we're getting up there, folks. Just a couple more, and we get up to 80. I'll shut the hell up. Taco de Mexico. It's on Santa Fe and Broadway. And if you go to downtown Denver, it may not be there anymore. You want to look it up?
sure.
So Taco de Mexico, Santa Fe and Broadway. It's right off of 285. And you go 285, and you would be going eastbound on 285, and you get off on Santa Fe. It's right there. And it's a hole in the wall, and it smells like bleach, right? So you know you're in a good place because they have to disinfect because the roaches are everywhere. So it's a great Mexican food place, right? And this is downtown Denver. Denver's been around a while. So you go in, and nobody speaks English, and I mean nobody. There's no English there.
Yep. They have a website now.
Sweet. They may take credit cards now, but all they use, no checks, cash. That was it.
only.
They cash or drugs, and you go in, and they have a complete side of beef, carne asada, and they chop it they just shred it right there and pound it. And what you do is you get the carne asada. It comes with refried beans and real refried beans. They don't fuck around. These are good. I'm talking soupy refried beans. When you pick them up, they don't go. They're not like water, but they're just free flowing refried beans. That's the way to do it. You don't do clumpy and dry. Fuck that. They've got to have some liquid content to them. Then they do this amazing rice, and it's a Spanish rice. It's so good. And they put that in there. So they do a layer of the beans. They put a shit ton of Jack cheese in there. Only Jack, no cheddar. Cheddar, please. And then they chop up the carne asada and they put that in there. And they put a layer of pico. Then they do salsa verde, which is the word you were looking for earlier, Amy. Salsa verde, I think, is the green stuff they put on.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that.
And then they get 2 over easy eggs. Hear me when I say this. Fried 2 over easy eggs runny. And lay it in the carne asada burrito and then wrap it up. Oh my God, it's freaking dude.
They make everything in front of you and only one person speaks English.
Oh, that's it. Nah, she didn't speak English. Like she understood burrito.
She understood very, very little. Coke,
burrito. You know, when you look, and they put a little sour cream in it for you too, because it's Americanized. But dude, I'm talking those burritos, and then they have I'm sorry, I forgot the biggest ingredient. My God, the pork green chili. And they pour pork green chili over the top, and it literally has chunks of pork, white pork in it like this, with green chili sauce that has a bouillon chicken broth base, but with a ton of like chili relleno, jalapeno pepper. So it's got a kick to it, and they pour that over the burrito. And I'm telling you, if you're ever stuffed up, you just go there. And your nose and your ass will be completely free and clear in at least 3 hours, because you just got, dude, they weigh like 3 pounds. They're like this. And you go there and it's like $25 for 2 burritos. And you're like, whoa, all right. And you pull out the cash and they take it all and thank you. And you take it home and you open it up. And it's like, once you crack the styrofoam, you hear this, la cucaracha, la cucaracha. Oh, you close the lid. You're like, what was that? Did that burrito just sing to me? And you open up, La Cucaracha, and oh my God, it's heaven. It's Mexican in a box.
What's the one that Casa Bonita? Is that the one they do the
Casa Bonita shit. Yeah. They put Vandy Camp Mexican there and they throw it on a plate because they have divers and it smells like chlorine. That place is shit.
Yeah. It's an adventure, but
anyway, Taco de Mexico, the best Mexican food in Denver. I don't care what anyone says. You can come you've never been there. If you tell me it's not, you don't know what you're talking about.
And if you're ever in Montana, I don't know if it's there anymore, but in Big Fork, there's a place called Del Norte. Nobody goes to Montana. Yeah, well, we have one listener from Montana.
It's because he has no choice but to go anywhere else.
Yeah, this was the only Mexican family in town, and they moved from Mexico and they opened up
They survived in Montana.
Yeah.
Wow.
They opened up the restaurant, and man, was it good.
All right. Well, if you have a wonderful restaurant that you want to share with us, please do put it down here. I mean, I will tell you, there are plenty of great restaurants in the United States. Amy, what is your favorite restaurant before we get started on the Trump tape?
Anywhere. It's probably Casa Tequila. We go there.
That is that. I'm going tomorrow night. I'm going. Why don't you come with us? We'll all go and eat. You can't. You've got real estate.
Well, no, we have friends that are visiting in town. So
okay, it's nice to know that they're more important than us. So we'll go.
I think we're actually going to go there tonight. I think Jason's going to take them there tonight for.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we'll go there. How are their margaritas? Are they good?
So I like, so I've never had a regular margarita. I get the skinny margarita because I don't like the sour mix. So they make it hand squeezed with just the limes. And then like they use a little bit of agave, not too much. So it's not, it's just amazing. And I get the skinny spicy margarita.
Okay.
It's amazing. And they put fresh jalapenos in it. It's like, and there's not those nasty pickled ones. Oh, they're so gross. But no, they do. Like, everything's fresh there. Everything is fresh there. It's amazing. And then if you go there, this is going to sound weird. I don't eat wings, but apparently, and this is the only place you can get the wings because they have several restaurants, is the Percival location because the chef there has a secret recipe that he will not share with any other chef. So apparently their Mexican wings are amazing. I've never had them, but everyone else loves them.
Okay. So we need to go there. Honorable, I'm swearing to God, we're going tomorrow night. Honorable mentions quickly. Jocko's Steakhouse in California. Glenn just mentioned in Bishop. Grinders in Kansas City, which I've been
There's
to.
Somebody from Montana on.
That one person. No, I'm kidding. I've been to Grinders in Kansas City. I went there when I went there for Flags of Valor. Oh yeah. 1903 Tap House in Bishop, California. Excuse me. Sorry, folks. My shake. In Bishop, California, Glenn says is fantastic. Costa Vidas is really good too, Jared says.
Johnny Esparzos in DFW.
Johnny Esparzo's. I think I went to that when I was at BBW at DFW, but Yvonne took us there. She loved Mexican food because she went to Johnny Gardino's with us and she loved Mexican. I think I've been there in DFW. That's Dallas Flower Mound for those of you who don't know what that is. I
it was Dallas Fort Worth.
Whatever, Dallas Fort Worth. It's Flower Mound, Texas. That's where I think the restaurant is. Is it in Flower Mound? Let me know. If not, at DFW is Dallas Fort Worth. But Flower Mound, I think, is where it's at. Let me know. El Rancho in southern Indiana, central in Indiana. Nope, never been there. Never been there. But okay, Jocko Steakhouse in California, greatest steaks ever. I don't care. You go.
Sorry, it looks like the dude from the restaurant Amy's talking about is on, because he said thanks for the tag, Amy. Is he
Amy?
on?
Well, who is? What's his name?
Jesse Loken.
Let me find.
Oh, she may have. Did you like share the show, Amy?
No, must have been a different name.
Jason's on.
Jason.
Happy Red Friday, Jason. Anyway, okay, quick honorable mentions. I got to get it all out. Elway's or Shanahan's in Denver, Colorado.
Oh my God.
If you want to spend, $75 to $100 a person, go there. Oh. If you've ever been to Ruth Chris, it's essentially better than Ruth Chris. And Ruth Chris is just freaking great. But Elway's is good. Oh yeah, much better.
Yeah. Elway's was probably our first. We'd only been together a couple years. It was probably our first, big expensive dinner we ever did together.
Club 54 in Houston is a great steakhouse, but it's still not better than Taste of Texas. Go to Taste of Texas. It is amazing. One of the best salad bars you'll ever taste in your life. Fantastic steak, good food. The button mushrooms are freaking to die for. They're stuffed with blue cheese. Forget about it. They're so good. Just amazing food. Dessert, Chicago and Hilton. I'll have to get you the name of the restaurant. So what they do is a little bit different. They have deep fried cheesecake. Now, folks, I don't eat this stuff. I'm really health conscious and I take care of myself. So, but there was a time where I was horribly obese and I just ate like a frickin' a blue whale. But so I was at Bath and Body Works, and what they do is they get giant Philly size cheesecake, right? So they get these huge pie squares. I mean, it's literally this tall. Graham cracker crust this thick and this wide, and it's the light cheesecake. It's not like horribly heavy. It's super duper light, and airy and fluffy. So after you eat it, you don't feel like you're ready to give birth to a baby. And what they do is they take this giant piece of cheesecake and they set it on a plate, and they have a giant silver bowl full of batter. And what you do is you have like 35 condiments up and down, and it's a powder, and the powder's blueberry powder, strawberry powder, white chocolate powder, butterscotch, just every type of powder that you can think of, and flavors of fruits and candies. They have like a white chocolate peppermint powder, all sorts of powder. Not that type of powder, shithead. No, that was Puerto Vallarta. That's when we went to Bogota. Wow. So we're in Chicago, and right. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll take strawberry and vanilla. I mean, I love strawberry, and I'll take the strawberry and vanilla powder. So they take a scoop, and it looks like a little Kool-Aid scoop, and they pour the dry powder of strawberry and vanilla, and they put in the batter, and then they start whisking it, and you're like, okay, this is cool. It's cool. And all of a sudden it's like, it turns beautiful pink, and it's not granulated. It just turns the batter pink. And I'm like, oh, well, that's neat. And then they take the cheesecake and they dip it. I'm like, holy shit, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And they dip the whole thing. And then before they dipped it, they put 2 prongs right down the heart of the cheesecake and stick it with a metal thing so it floats. And then they put it in the batter, pull it out, and then stick it in the deep fryer. And you basically get a cheesecake donut. And dude, hold on, I'm not done. So then they lay that down on the side. It looks like basically fish and chips, but in a cheesecake. It's got its same size, and it's just covered in this flaky tempura, but kind of has that Italian matzo ball taste to it. Ridiculous batter, just delicious. And then you walk down the other side of the aisle, which has the same ingredients, but in live form. So next to the strawberry powder on the other side, you've got real strawberries and a strawberry sauce. And then you've got like vanilla extract with a white chocolate type fondue type thing. And you got blueberries, and you got this, and you got that. And then they pour that over the top. And then they're not done. I mean, it's already a fucking heart attack in a box. And they give you and whip cream right there, and he shoves it into a pastry bag and turns it and just layers it with real whipped cream,
Oh my God.
and you get
What's
It's
it
still-
called?
it's-
I've never heard of
like
these things.
5,000.
it is still the best orgasm I've ever had in my life. I'm just letting you know, just the best.
So I need to be jealous of a piece of cheesecake.
You do. In this
Okay.
case, I would find the social security number of that cheesecake. It was that good. It was delicious.
You know, you're forgetting one restaurant. Yaya's. Yaya Mary's.
Oh, dude, Yaya
In
Mary's.
Houston. Oh my gosh. Best Greek food, hands down.
Yeah, it's great Greek food. It's real Greek food, real baklava. It's made the way it's supposed to be made. Yaya Mary's in Houston.
Oh,
It's
so
fantastic.
good.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else, and then we'll get to the show because we got people on now. Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona.
What's
California.
your favorite restaurant?
Wyoming.
Oh, listen, and here's the thing: if you like a good hibachi and sushi place, you have to go to Benihana. I don't care if you've never been to Benihana. You're making a mistake, and it's the Disney. Oh, I got one more.
Trace margaritas.
Wait, have you been to Sakura's?
Yeah, Sakura sucks compared to Benihana.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, I
Benihana's
like
so much
Sakura
better.
way better than Benihana.
They don't have freaking Sapporo, and they don't have Ichiban beer. No, I'm not doing.
I don't drink beer, and I don't do. I don't drink beer. So
Benihana is really good, but Sakura is the same thing. I mean, they're both the same. I just don't like. I love the ginger dressing. I love the sauces at Benihana. I'm a big fan. Plus, I love that only a couple places serve it, but sashimi beef is only served.
Oh my God.
And sashimi beef is essentially raw beef, and it's delicious.
so
And it's so good. Oh, they sear both sides, and then it comes. Oh, forget
It
about
was
it.
our special restaurant. We went there for all.
We
of our
had sex
special
once they cleaned off the grill. On top of the grill, they always were like, "Oh, ichiba, kanbanwa." I'm like, "Thank you, no problem, appreciate it."
Somebody just said, "How about barbecue?" Since we're from Texas.
Oh,
Honestly, Monk's here in
one.
Purcellville.
I was gonna say
Monk's is one of the best barbecue places I've ever had, and I'm from Texas, and I love Texas barbecue. Monk's is
pretty
delicious.
darn good.
We went to one in
They do-
Albuquerque with my mom, and I
Their
just,
variety is ridiculous. I mean, they do crusted
amazing.
ribeye. They do, folks. If you have not been to Monk's in Purcellville, Virginia, it's probably some of the best
Worth
barbecue I've
drive.
ever had, and that's hard for me to say because barbecue is the South. You can't do wrong in Texas with barbecue. There are no bad barbecue spots. There's just none. Everything is perfect. Barbecue and Mexican food are great in Texas.
Rudy's is good. Somebody said Rudy's. They're good.
Rudy's.
Barbecue back in Texas. It was
Oh yeah,
the one we
Rudy's.
always
Yeah,
used to-
I mean, if you want drive-through barbecue, Rudy's is great. Rudy's is great, and it's good drive-through barbecue. It's fantastic. It's better than like Pitt's or Emmett's. I mean, it's delicious. I mean, Rudy's is great. It's just not the best. Hold on, I had a brain fart. I got one last one, and I can't remember. Oh, hold on. It's coming to a head. Damn it. This was a good one too. Where was it?
I'm trying to think of a name of a restaurant too. I can't think of the name of it. It's in Mexico, and their food is okay. Go ahead.
No, damn it. No. You think of that. I'm going to hit this real quick.
Yeah.
If you like breakfast places, okay, it's a little expensive.
Tammy's
You're going to no, yeah, okay, I better say it because Tammy's going to cut me. She's on the show. Tammy's Diner in Round Hill, Virginia. It's fantastic. Okay, but for real now, if you want the best breakfast place, no offense, Tammy, I don't care if you disown me. I love you. There is an amazing restaurant that was founded in Houston, Texas. It was called First Watch. And they went up and bought all the Yolk restaurants. It was called Yolk, Y-O-L-K. We still have a mug for it. And Egg Yolk was an amazing restaurant. But First Watch, guys, an ex-cop came in and bought it. They grew so fast. Now they've expanded in Virginia. You can go to Leesburg. They're down in Leesburg.
next to the Best Buy.
And it's expensive. 4 people, it's going to cost you $80 because the pots of coffee are $10. Best coffee you've ever had in your life. I don't care. I don't care where you've had your coffee. That coffee is the shiznit. The best, fluffiest, amazing pancakes. They make just great food. Everything's perfect. Go to First Watch for breakfast. And that's really all. I'm done. That's it. I'm sorry.
Mimi's was good.
Mimi's?
Mimi's Cafe.
Oh, God,
I
barf.
always liked them.
Barf. Now, see, you're just downgraded. I love you. You're my favorite person on the planet, but you can't put Mimi's in the conversations of the restaurants we just had. Why don't you just be like, McDonald's is pretty good.
Burger King.
Burger King is so tasty. So tasty.
Taco Bell would be Hayden's choice.
All right. I literally just gained 14 pounds from that conversation. Let's get into this. So this is going to take a little bit of time, but I think it's worth it. So everyone knows this is the second deposition. Some people have watched better than the Coffee FJ. Listen, I'm not going to lie. The first watch coffee is the best.
So
it
good.
is it's flown in fresh. It's worth it, but it's expensive, but it's worth it. Like if I could drink the rest of that coffee for the rest of my life, I would. I'm not going to lie.
They do the best food. I love that place. Yeah.
I love First Watch. It's so good. And the Don't Unfriend Me coffee is delicious. I'm not going to lie. It's very good, especially if you press it, but it's not First Watch coffee, but it's still good. It's really good. Okay. Amy, did you remember your restaurant?
No, I'm waiting for Jason to come back in here. I'm going to ask him. He took me there, or I took him there a couple years ago. It's in Cancun. There's also one in Tulum, but they're different names, but they're owned by the same place. The food is okay. It's not anything crazy, but they do like this whole experience while you're there. And I can't even describe it. You have to go to experience it. It's just it's like fully immersive. It's just a really cool place to go. And now it's just awesome. It's very touristy though too, but it's awesome.
Kristen, Karen was asking Kristen about Peruvian food. Peruvian food's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simplistic. Peruvian food is not complicated. Yep. Like it's very, very much like most real Latin food. Spain is actually very complicated. It's very much Americanized. It's very complicated food. I mean, I've had all. There's not much I haven't eaten. I've had Korean food, Greek. I mean, and these are going to places. Like these are going to the actual places and having the food. Italian.
Have you guys had Maryland crab cakes yet? Like, have you had a real true
I can't
Maryland?
stand crabs. I can't stand seafood.
I don't either. So no judgment here.
Crab cakes make me want to vomit. I love crab. I hate crab cakes.
Crab legs.
Oh yeah, she loves king crab. That's another way. Taste of Texas. Your king crab legs are like 17 feet long. I mean, it's like, dude, it's like coming off the Northwestern. Like who's the guy in the Northwestern? Sid. Yeah, Sid comes out. He's in a chef. He's like, hey, how you guys doing? Here you go. Here's some crab legs, just straight from the Northwestern. We went ahead and we sailed down to give these to you. We're in Texas. Yeah, we know. Just shut up and eat them.
What was
They're
the
that
last
good.
time we went to Mexico that did like the whole like the?
She's asking Jason, and then we're gonna get to
Oh, it's called Rosa Negra.
it. What did you just call me?
Yeah, I called you a Rosa Negra.
You just called me the Black Rose.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, the Black Rose.
Yeah.
Right. El Trinidad El Diablo, the Devil's Pitchfork. No, sorry, he's Romancing the Stone. It's a good movie. So, okay. All right. Well, now we know. I mean, this is what we need to do. We need to have someone take notes. We need someone to take minutes. It's like when we have this show, people are like, oh my God, I know what I'm doing. If you're going to travel, just call me. I have been to 48 of the 50 states. What's crazy is that it's not Alaska and it's not Hawaii that I haven't been to.
You've been to Alaska?
Maybe it is Alaska.
Rhode
It's
Island.
Alaska. No, bullshit. Yeah, I went to Kodiak Island. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, we did a hop off Kodiak. So yeah, I've been to Alaska. It's New Hampshire and Connecticut, I think.
President Bartlett would be ashamed of you.
I know Bartlett. Jed's gonna have to deal with it. I think it's Connecticut and New Hampshire. And what's crazy is I was right next to New Hampshire and I could have went there, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. So I got to go to Connecticut, New Hampshire. I got to go to Boston, maybe catch a hockey game and go park my car in the yard and get a pickle. So I'll go do that. All right, let's get to this. Salt Lake Barbecue in Texas. Oh, dude, Salt Lake is good. So freaking good. Yes.
Where was it?
Well, we didn't go. I went with Dave. I went with
I went to all
Comcast.
the good restaurants without
Well,
me.
of course I did. Of course, it was not my fault. It was, yeah. But Salt Lake, oh God, Salt Lake is good. You're right. That's great barbecue. Dude, have you been to, CJ, have you been to Yaya's? So good.
What was that restaurant we went to for that Comcast Christmas party that one year?
To what?
It was just the manager's Dave.
Taste of Texas.
No, that wasn't Taste. It was a little like hole in the wall that one of the other managers had said, had recommended it.
Oh, yeah, that was
And I
shit
got
food.
drunk.
It was shit food. That was shit.
Good. Maybe I was drunk.
It was all right. Okay, all right. Crab legs. I like crab legs. I just can't listen. I live in Japan. I seafood to me, that's all you eat in Japan. It's just seafood. Everything's fucking seafood, or it's rat, and you just don't know you're eating it. All right,
No.
Ugh.
whatever.
Oh, now I'm not hungry and I'm nauseous. No, I could never
Yeah,
eat rat.
thanks for
That's
that.
gross.
Matt should have a book, Best Places I've Eaten Across the States. I should do World. That's my book. I should do World because I've eaten dog in South Korea. I'm not going to lie. I've had cow tongue. I've had Rocky Mountain oysters.
I was just going to ask you if you've had those.
Yeah, I've had Rocky Mountain oysters. I'll eat anything.
Cool.
I'll try anything. Doesn't mean I like them, but the Rocky Mountain oysters actually are freaking delicious. You got to get past.
Pass.
It's a hard pass because you're thinking about it. Like cow tongue. You're like, oh, cow tongue. But cow tongue's good.
Hard pass. No, I'm not going to
But it's
eat.
delicious.
Have you been to H Mart? Like, do you ever go to H Mart and shop there? Do you ever grocery shop there?
No.
Oh, because I love they have a lot of good produce and whatnot, but they also have like the real, like the chicken feet. They have all that crazy shit there. Like you can want that stuff, go to
Where's
H Mart.
that? Where's H Mart?
I think the closest one, I want to say it's Chantilly. Is probably the closest one.
Oh, that's too far.
Yeah,
Not worth the drive.
Chantilly. Yeah, I had a rattlesnake. Rattlesnake is good. Buffalo. Buffalo's huge in Denver. Buffalo Trading Company is delicious. You haven't been there, go out Buffalo. It's good. It's good. It's a little gamey at times, but Buffalo's good. I love everything. And there's not many foods I won't eat. I just seafood I won't do. Like if you want to give me a halibut or a rainbow trout, sure. Any day. Yes. Meaty fish I'll eat, but swordfish, barf. Tuna, barf. Mahi raw is good. I like a little sushi once in a while. But more California-ized sushi, with a little bit of avocado or wasabi. Something a little bit more palatable. I'm just not big into raw fish. It's just not my thing. I live in Japan. I've eaten it. I've done it. It's slimy. It's gross. And all I do is think of Queen when I eat it. All the mercury. So pickled pig's feet. I've had pickled pig's feet. I've had some crazy shit. And I don't like that food. I'm not one of those people. I'll just try it to say I did. Shark is delicious. Shark is a meatier fish, and it's very delicious.
You've had snake.
I've had steak.
Snake.
Well, yeah, rattlesnake. I've had rattlesnake. And then other snakes that weren't cooked to proper. All right, let's get to this. Calamari, can't stand it. Can't stand octopus. God barf.
Ethan and I love calamari.
No, hard
Can't
pass.
stand
I don't eat seafood at all.
I can't stand seafood. I love do you eat halibut at all though, Ames?
Nope, I eat nothing out of the water. I will not eat anything out of the water. I can't. I've had an oyster once. That was
God,
like 2 or
that
3
tastes like
years ago.
snot.
What about shrimp?
Shrimp's good. Have you had shrimp?
So gross. Nope, I don't eat that crap. I'll cook it.
See, I'll eat shrimp all day.
I just don't friggin' no. I don't eat water bugs. Hard pass.
Water bugs.
Have you eaten cat?
Who?
You.
hope
Somebody
not.
just asked if you
Who
have
the fuck? Probably, but at, Ding Shang Dang Dang Dao restaurant in San Francisco or something. Maybe. But do you really know you're eating cat? I mean, do you know? That's not racist, folks. I'm an equal opportunity bigot. I just do it. I do it to everybody. Like, I don't care what race you are. I'll just make fun of you.
Horse. I've heard a horse is
I've never had horse.
a delicacy in
No,
France.
and I never would have eaten dog, but that was put on me. That's like an initiation. When you go to South Korea, they always fuck with you. You get you off base, get you drunk, and then you go eat dog skewers, and it's just the way it is. No, I've never eaten cat. No, that I know of. Like I said, unless I went to Dipsy Dow and ate it there. What's really funny? Here's a story, quick one. We got to get to the show, but here's a funny one in Japan, in Yokosuka. There's just right off base. So you basically go through the back gate, you take a right, and there's a bar there. It's got a wonderful foosball table. They have Spice Girls playing in the freaking jukebox, and it's a very Americanized place. A lot of sailors go there. I can't remember the name of it. I've got pictures of it. Just me completely shit-faced. And but in Yokosuka, Roppongi, and all those other places, you're looking at $12 for a beer. When I was there, it's probably $18, $20, $25 now. Somebody in Japan will tell me, but so we would go there, $12 a beer. But on base, it's like $1 for a pitcher. So we would go there, and they would have the greatest food in the world called gyoza. And gyoza is essentially a noodle. It's a circular noodle with little waves around, but it's a flat noodle. So it basically looks like the top of a pie when you put up over a pie and do a baked pie with fruit in it. So that's what it looks like. And then they stuff it with minced meat. And it's got beef, and then it's got just some amazing, just flavor to it. It's delicious. And they stuff it, and then they fold this thing, and it comes in gyoza, and they sear it on both sides. So it's brown, looks like a browned noodle. Most people have had it. They're called dumplings here in the United States. You could get them at P.F. Chang's, right? They're called dumplings. Fucking stupid name. They're not dumplings, but they're called gyoza. I mean, that's the official Japanese name. And you dip them in a teriyaki sauce. Holy shit. They're the buffaloing of Japanese people. And I used to be able to put 100 of those away with like 4 pitchers of beer with me and Bonafide and the guys. So
I'll say one more
anyway,
too. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I thought you were done.
what did you say? No,
I
I'm
have
never
one more
done.
restaurant that you got to try too. But
All
I
right,
thought
I'll
you
do
were
this
done. Go ahead.
quickly. So you go in there and you basically get your pitchers of beer, but it's expensive. So the Japanese people that go in there, like these businessmen, will walk up to the end of the bar and like they're looking like they're really like gonna jump off Nakatomi Plaza. Some of these guys are just, you could tell they hate their wives, they hate their kids, but they're too honorable to cheat on them. So they go in there and they drink instead. And it's a Navy bar, so it's not the place to go, but they come in anyway. And as they're drinking, there's this jar and it's sitting behind the bar. And see my Easterns coming out of me.
On the ball.
It's fucking horrible. Whenever I talk about Japan, it's always because that's the way who I was with. I was a bunch of freaking guys from Boston.
Sure.
Yeah. So the jar's sitting there, and there's a fucking like gold liquid which looks like urine, and there's a fucking rattlesnake floating in it, rattlesnake head, and he's full freaking fangs, and he's just sitting in there. And it's called habasaki. And habasaki is you take a drink of it, and it has minute portions of rattlesnake venom. And what that ultimately does is it doesn't shut it down, but it lowers the quality of your liver to process alcohol, and it puts it in a stasis. So 1 beer, 2 beers will get you drunk versus the 8 that it would cost you and $175 to drink. So these Japanese guys come out with a shot of habasaki, and they do a shot of habasaki, and then they buy 1 beer and nurse the beer for 2 hours. And that's what you do. I tried it one time. And in Japan, on the way to Roppongi, which is there's a train, and it's not legal. You can buy alcohol in a vending machine in Japan. You just have to brown bag it. You can drink it anywhere. They don't care. You can go to church, even though they don't have churches. You go to a temple, whatever. So you go to this vending machine and you put in, 600 yen or whatever it is, and you get a giant 40 ounce of something called chuhai. And chuhai comes in very variant different flavors. It comes in like cherry, it comes in green apple. Forget about it. It's like drinking carbonated apple juice, and it gets you shit-faced. It is delicious. It's like Mike's Hard Lemonade, but before Mike's Hard Lemonade was around, but it's really high alcohol content. It's good. I mean, it's not like alcohol, but it's better than a beer. And you get one of those and you nurse that before you get to Roppongi, so you don't have to pay $12, $16 a beer. And then you can buy the girls' beers without breaking the bank. So you go ahead and do a shot of habasaki and do chuhai. I was so shit-faced I couldn't walk for like 4.5 hours. And this is a guy that could drink just about anything you put in front of me. And I was always carrying people across the quarterdeck. And 1 shot of habasaki and a chuhai, I was toast. And I used to have 2 or 3 of those before we would get off the train to Roppongi. And then I would start laying into the beer. And it's insane. So there you go.
Wow.
All right. Tell me, Amy, your story, and then we'll get to it.
No, it's not a story. I was going to tell you one more restaurant to try here. It's actually in Lovettsville. And I don't know if they still have the same rating as they did before, but it was rated one of the best Thai restaurants, if you like Thai food, in the DC metro area out in Little Podunk. It's called Daughter's Thai, and it's legitimate Thai food. Like they have one lady there who speaks English. That's it. And she's amazing.
Does she talk Thai? Does she talk Thai real well?
She's like from Lovettsville. Like she's the nicest lady ever.
I don't think Amy got that.
Amy, have you seen Meet the Parents?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the part where he's like Robert De Niro's CIA agent, and he's trying to set up the honeymoon tickets, and he's like he's talking to the guy, and he's like, well, who's that guy you were talking to on the phone in Thai? And his wife's like, Jack don't talk Thai. Ben Stiller turns around and goes, oh, Jack talk Thai real well. Sorry. So it's that good. It's now Thai food's super spicy, and Olivia doesn't like that. Is it Americanized Thai, or is it super spicy black chili Thai?
So they have an option for I think they call it either white versions or like American. I don't know what they have a version for people who can't handle spice, but you're not going to get the same. It's not.
Yeah, it's not Thai food without spice. I know it's like eating Indian food, not dots.
I'll never eat it.
Dots, not feathers.
Yeah,
it's like eating India food. I mean, basically all the Indian food is corn maze and.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's horrible. Dots, not feathers. And I hate curry. Fuck curry. Tofu and curry. Like if I had a bomb and I could drop it from 100,000 feet, Thai food and curry would be my targets. Or not Thai food, curry and tofu would be my targets.
I like curry. I like some curries, not all of them, but I like curry.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It's good.
All right. Thanks, folks, for your patience. Sorry that this took so long, but sometimes we do this. And on Friday night when there's not a lot on, we kind of stall a little bit in order to get everybody on. But we will push on at this point. This is what we're going to do. Is this video is roughly 46 minutes long, and I don't necessarily want to do that to y'all because we want you to come back. But I want to be clear. I have said some things about this case that I feel that Jean Carroll or Jean E. Carroll, whatever the hell her name is, I don't think she's being honest. My gut feeling is that Donald Trump most assuredly went into the dressing room with her. At the time, she was, I'm being clear, a good-looking woman. And I don't know if she was batshit crazy at this point, but I'm sure that he had some sort of something with her. It just feels that way to me, right? That you've got to prove a little something. There's got to be a modicum of truth to your story. But like she said, she willingly went into the lingerie room with him. Oh, I didn't know what was going to happen. You're a blonde. Of course you knew it was going to happen. That's your claim to fame. Okay. No offense. So she knew. I mean, of course, you know, I'm going to walk into, it's like, Billy, I'm going to get naked in a serial killer movie. What's going on? Where's everybody at? So you got to give me a what's going on for that. So anyway, I walked into a dressing room with a Playboy billionaire. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God. What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on? Why are you trying to get your hands off of me? You didn't scream. You didn't yell. You didn't run out. It just feels to me that maybe something happened, right? And at the very worst, something happened. And maybe Donald Trump got grabby and all of that. First of all, you shouldn't wait 20 fucking years.
I think she's doing it for a payday or for her book.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Because if it was that, and the way she's talking, it doesn't sound like it was very traumatizing to her. It honestly, she says rape is sexy and it's about fantasy. It sounds like it was her fantasy with Donald Trump.
It just sounds a little bit weird, right? She doesn't call it a rape. She calls it a fight, and it hurt. And you say, well, what do you mean it hurt? Where did it hurt? How did it hurt? You know, you just be, whatever. So I don't care. I'm not here to litigate the trial. What I'm here to say is that the liberals are teeing off on a couple of things that I think they shouldn't be teeing off on, because I'm going to try to explain it to you. First thing I'm going to do is we're going to start it. We're going to listen to it together, and then we'll talk about it, because I think it's important. We're not playing all 48 minutes. I'm not going to do it. We're going to play probably the first 15, 20, and then I'm going to show you a photo that he looks at, what the photo is, so you can understand it, and why I believe he can't really discern who his wife is and who E. Jean Carroll is. One is because they look damn alike back in the day. And I want to kind of explain why this isn't the smoking gun, but I think there is something he says in here that is the smoking gun and shows that they probably did something together. In fact, I think the Hollywood videotape very well could be one of the women that he's talking about, that he just grabbed her and had his way with her. You don't say that unless you did it. It's not locker room talk, okay? Like, okay, if I go and go like, oh man, gosh, you know, Cindy, I went and tied her to a chair and I got the whips out. It was awesome. And I hung her from the ceiling, and oh, it was like 50 Shades of Grey. That's a little specific. But if I say, you know, there's this girl and, you know, I slept with her, I boned her, that's locker room talk. But if you're starting to get into specifics and what knots you tied and all this other shit, you have carnal knowledge, right? You have experience in this thing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch this. I want everybody's opinion. I want to get your guys' thoughts, and girls, please put comments down in the bottom. And I'm going to be fair about this. I'm going to be as balanced as I can, because I think that the liberals are foaming at the mouth over the wrong thing. Of course, they go for the low-hanging fruit. But I'm going to do it from the view of, I'm not going to defend Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you, if I was a defense counsel, what I would do. And I'm pretty good at this shit. So let's go ahead and watch it. Because when you see the work that Olivia and I did, I think you'll be impressed. Liv, you?
It was mainly you. I didn't do much. I just stood there.
Well, you know, you let me tie you up with a whip and hang you from the ceiling. And no? Okay. Here we go. Ouch.
And by the early 1990s.
Oh, shit. Let me flip the sound. Hold on. And I want to get your opinions, right? So let me know what you think.
Would it be fair to call you or to characterize you as a real estate?
All right, here we go.
And by the early 1990s, would it be fair to call you or to characterize you as a real estate tycoon?
Yeah.
Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue, that was completed in 1983?
Around that time, yes.
And when did you move into your penthouse apartment there?
Maybe a year later.
And that remained your primary residence until you were elected president, correct?
That's right.
And where's Trump Tower located? I obviously know. But just
57th and 5th.
And at some point, you became the owner of the Plaza Hotel in New York, correct?
Yes.
And where's the Plaza Hotel located?
59th.
All right, they juxtapose and just keep going on about his, domicile and where he lives and all this bullshit for the record, and then we're going to move
I
forward.
don't know. I mean, I don't know what you'd have to define social life. I wouldn't say in the early 90s.
Okay. Now, in the 80s and 90s, is it fair to say you had a busy social life?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you'd have to define social
All right,
life.
so
I wouldn't say that's the.
So that right there is defense attorney telling him, don't say anything whether you have a social life. First of all, Donald Trump is all about glitz and glamour. This guy's all about Dom Perignon and caviar, and he's loaded and he's a billionaire. Of course, he's a playboy, but he downplays it. And I gave money at the local church and had ice cream and we read scripture and then we just went to bed. And I think we had missionary sex the whole time. Yes, that's what I did. So, and we also, as Joe Biden calls it, we pledged solemns to Christ. So, this is what he's been told to do. And honestly, it's smart. I went and got shit-faced and we just hammered broads all night. So, of course, he's not going to say that. So, to downplay. So, he follows that direction fairly well.
Busy. I was working very hard, so I didn't have time to be too much onto the social calendar, but yeah.
Well, let me try to phrase it this way. In the evenings during that period, you went out quite a bit in New York City to benefits, galas, etc.
A lot of charity events, yes.
A lot of charity, a lot of
I
church.
don't think that much, no.
So, in the period.
So you're going to see abrupt cuts. I want to make sure everyone understands. I didn't edit this video in any way, shape, or form. This video is 100% cut from what Trump's team authorized and what the prosecution has authorized. So there's no doubt in my mind that this deposition isn't a leak. I believe Donald Trump wants transparency, right? He wants to get this out there. So, but there are some things that Donald Trump will not allow. And I want to be very clear. And I believe it's moments of embarrassment for Donald Trump that have been cut out. And I'm going to show you some of those things that would make him look small and petty. He's very narcissistic when it comes to being made to look weak. That comes from his father. It comes from the military academy he went to. A lot of people don't know Donald Trump's history. They only know him from a game show. Donald Trump is very well educated. He's an Ivy League school graduate. He's military academy. He may have had bone spurs, people said, but he wasn't. He excelled in military academy. He did very well. He was very proud of it. That's where he gets his patriotism from. And he has a very long and distinguished line of success and failure. But a lot of people don't know his history, and you should watch it because the story about his father and the Trumps is actually quite interesting. But anyway, he does have a stigmatism when it comes to being made to look weak. He doesn't like it. He will get himself in trouble. And in this deposition, he gets himself in trouble several times because he's afraid to look weak. Here.
In the 80s and 90s, we've already discussed you would go to benefits and parties. And is it fair to say that a lot of those parties, there would be or benefits, there would be kind of a photography line either at the beginning or throughout the event?
Yes.
And that people would take photographs like Getty Images and then put them out. And this is another Getty Images printout. And is it fair to say that this document indicates that you were the Grand Marshal of the New York City Veterans Day?
I did everything.
When you say everything, give me some examples if you
I
can.
did I did that.
So for the next couple of minutes, he's going to talk about doing the interview. Most of you've only seen 3 or 4 minutes, the really juicy part. So now he's going to talk about the parades he's done and the events that he's done. Been on TV. He's going to say that I've done the Sunday talk shows. He's done the pundit circuit on the news channels. He's done the late nights and all this. And this is what he says. You know, I've been on pretty much everything, and he has.
They'd ask me to do them all the time. So I did quite a bit of television.
I think you already answered this question, but just so the record is clear, did you watch the program Good Morning America from time to time in this period of the late
Television industry, but I probably did.
Anyone come to mind right now?
So they're asking about his relationship with production assistants or producers. He mentions Bob Wright. They mention Bob Wright because, you know, obviously these questions are leading somewhere because this is based upon their investigation. They have found things and they're trying to make lines of delineation to the case. But really, they don't care about Bob Wright. Excuse me, Donald Trump says Bob Wright. They want to know about Roger Ayers, right? Roger Ayers, the Fox News tycoon. And that's what they want to know because they want to get to this Fox thing. They want to see if while president, he influenced the media to lie for him or dissuade. And this is what obstruction looks like. So they're trying to get him on multiple things. And he does an excellent job of staying out of the fray and not allowing them to trap him. In fact, it was masterfully done in the first 10 minutes of the video. We're not going to sit here and watch that whole thing because the real part we want to talk about is the photo because that's the kind of the hanging Chad type thing that's in the room.
About 78 to...
Your first wife, Ivana Trump.
Okay. Liv, you got to help out here. They start asking him dates on his anniversaries and when he was married. Can you explain this to the viewers?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead. No, what are you doing? No, you got to talk about me.
Okay, he's horrible with dates. Horrible.
How about all men?
I don't have really any experience.
Okay, all men are horrible at dates. We don't. Come on, it's the old joke. Dad doesn't remember your birthday. Mom does. He never remembers my anniversary. He went to Jared. Come on, people. Men don't remember this shit. And if you ask me when my wife and I got married, the only reason I know is because I had a keychain that I saw it every day for like 7 years. Mm-hmm. And I still struggle with it sometimes. So August 22nd, 2001. September 22nd, 2002.
Oh my God. We've been married 20 years.
See, I don't know.
August 22nd, 2002.
Oh, 2000. Why are you laughing? That was so close.
It was
20.
close.
Come on. 2001. Why the hell? You can't show me any respect. August 22nd. I got it right. You should have been like, dude, you're so close. You got it.
It's like my dad buying me a plane ticket after I was already married, and he bought the plane ticket with my maiden name on it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's not the same thing. We just don't remember. That's a dad thing. It doesn't matter. Dates are hard. So he remembers Ivana, and then he doesn't remember Marla Maples because, I mean, they were married for a New York minute, right?
It was like 3 years, and it was like he was cheating on.
Right, in Trump
Ivana
years,
with
that's like 6 months. So less than almost a full term. Okay, here we go.
So about 78 to...
Okay, all right. First of all, now everyone's getting all shitty. Oh, that's not true. Men remember dates. Okay, listen to me. The stigmatism wouldn't be like a Hallmark card if it wasn't true. Most men don't remember dates very well. Most men struggle with that type of stuff. Yes, there are some men, those very special, lovely men, whatever, fine. Donald Trump struggles with dates, okay? I can tell you right now because the look on his face is me. He's like, oh, fuck. I mean, that's what he's saying right now. He's fuck. This is the first time he was slightly miffed because he's like, dude, I can't tell them when I was married. I don't know. He's been married like fucking how many times? 3 times?
3 times.
Come on. I mean, dude.
Not to mention the numerous affairs.
It's alleged affairs.
Oh, no, there were some that were true.
No, alleged affairs. He never admitted to any of them. So I'm not going to go ahead and say it. I always will give the people credit who he even addresses that in here, Olivia Spear, alleged affairs.
Excuse me.
Whether he did or not. Listen, you're innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And you know what? Until they start prosecuting people for affairs, I'm not going to make a judgment because I don't know. I'm not stupid either, but you get my point. I'm not going to say anything on here and get sued. I mean, the guy went after Bill Maher, for God's sakes. What am I? Here we go.
The early 90s.
Your next wife was a woman by the name of Marla Maples.
Right.
And sitting here today, do you recall what years you were married to Ms. Maples?
Not a chance. Nope.
I'd have to
Right.
get the exact dates. Yeah. I can do
Get
that
back to you on
very
that, Senator.
In the course of your dating life and your married life, did you have occasion to buy gifts for women you were seeing?
Not much,
Okay.
actually.
Not much. No, fuck them. No, I kept my money. Those whores didn't deserve it.
Or something, I guess, yeah.
And other than birthday presents, did you buy gifts?
He's such a pimp. He's just like a real billionaire. He's like, no, fuck that. I don't give him any of my money. Those gold diggers, I didn't give him anything. I mean, he's just birthdays, maybe. You know, if it came to mind. You gotta love Trump. At least he's consistent to everybody. He's just, oh Lord.
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think very much. No.
I think that you
to
bought
everyone.
gifts for your wives for their birthdays.
Yes, generally.
And I take it you bought gifts for women you were dating.
It's, probable.
At least in your first marriage, you were seeing women
Probable.
outside of your marriage while you were married, correct?
Yeah, sun shines on a dog's ass at least twice a day and once a day. Something. Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, you were very public about the fact that you were seeing Ms.
Watch this,
Maples
Liv.
when you were still married to Ivana Trump, no?
No, I don't think I was public about it.
Well,
No.
there were many articles about it at the time, correct?
No, I don't think I was public about it. But no, I don't think I was public about it at all.
Yeah, isn't it true that you were seeing Ms. Maples before you were divorced from Ivana Trump?
I don't know. It was toward the end of the marriage, so I don't know really. There could be a lap over, but I don't really know.
Did you ever have occasion to go to the department store Bergdorf Goodman?
Very rarely.
You say very rarely. Can you give me more detail? How rarely?
I mean, almost never. I would very rarely go there.
About as often as you've made love to something without a battery in it, lady. That's right.
Oh my God.
That would be awesome. I'll just be like, oh, fuck, mic drop. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll pay the $100 million. I don't care. Fuck this. I'm out of here, lady. So this is where it starts to get interesting. Take a listen because this is interesting.
When you went there, what do you recall shopping for?
Watch this. It's masterful.
I don't know. It's possible I was there, but I don't know that I ever shopped there for myself.
So when you shopped there for yourself, to the extent you went there, you were shopping for others?
I don't think
Look
I
at that
ever
trap.
shopped for others.
That's a trap.
It's possible.
He's too smart for a trap, lady.
Yeah.
One
He
or
got
both
through
of my
Leslie's
wives
stall. He's not
shopped
going to
there
get through
a
that
little
trap.
bit. I don't remember ever buying something for myself at Bergdorf Goodman. I went there very seldom, almost if ever.
Then let's limit it to Bergdorf's. Bergdorf's was
Okay.
pretty close.
So she obviously, this was cut out. She asked him multiple different places if he had been there because obviously they went through his bank statements. So they're going to try to catch him in a lie. So he refused to have that demonstrated and shown because there's things that this deposition that can't be released. I mean, this is under the Privacy Act, right? You can't leak one of these things because it could actually throw off the entire trial. If this is leaked without permission from the defense, this is a mistrial. And even in the civil case. So you got to understand, he has carte blanche to say, nope, that doesn't get put in there. Nope, that doesn't. Even the mess up. This is why I want to explain the mess up, because why would he be dumb and stupid to allow them to put this mess up in here? Because he didn't feel it was a big enough deal, because hopefully that somebody like me would figure it out, because I think I have. And I'm not trying to debate you, right? People have accused me of that before. They're like, you're just slow rolling to keep your ratings up. Fuck no, I'm not. I'd leave and come back in 30 minutes or something, because I build up to things. I don't want to do something and just, here you go. And then you're like, well, how did you get there? And then start asking a million questions. So I try to give you all the information. Okay. So that's why we're doing this.
Well, and wait, really quick. I don't know how many assistants that he has. He also has family that would, cause I'm sure that he has given his credit card or probably has an account with a lot of these places, and he says to his personal shopper, I need X, Y, and Z, or his wardrobe, and they go buy things for him, but it's going to show up on his statement because it's his money paying for it. So I don't know how.
Right. Well, this is also the question. It's not just that. What they're going to do is say, okay, have you been to Bergdorf's? No. Okay. Well, have you been to Sullivan's? Okay, great. Have you been to the Port Authority Express? And they're going to name every single shop around there and say, well, wait a second, you've been to every single one, but you haven't been to Bergdorf's. That's what they're going to say. This is to build. You've lived here for 30 some odd years. You tell me you've never stepped foot into the place and you don't remember, but you've been to all these other shops and you admit to being there. But the one place that Jean Carroll says you went to that you're saying you're not, you seem defensive. Mr. Trump, you seem like you're withholding evidence from us. It would be ridiculous for him not to go in there and shop. So they took that out of there, I'm assuming, because first of all, he doesn't need to share this. This is not information that he needs to share. It's not pertinent to the case. The only thing is you can't build guilt through association. That's not the way this works at all. Just because he visited multiple shops in the area does not necessarily mean he went there. You're right. Could have been an assistant, could have given his credit card. His credit card could be on file. And all he did was make a phone call and said, hey, get me gift number 5, the one I always give women. And then it's sent to him in a bow. Let's keep it real here. So the whole thing is, I guarantee his lawyer objected, because in the whole thing, you don't hear the lawyer object. You don't hear the lawyer say, I object. That's inadmissible. Let's dismiss that. Let's scratch the record for that. No, he's not going to answer. All that's been cut out. So it basically looks like Trump versus them. And that's what he probably wants to show is I don't need anyone. So when the lawyer talks, I think they cut that out. So when they started asking multiple things, because when you hear her right here, she says the words, let's just specifically talk about Bergdorf's. That's what she says. Let's keep it to Bergdorf's, which means that the lawyer objected. And the timestamp that happened, let's go back.
Very close to the Plaza Hotel.
Just little things we should look at.
But I don't remember ever buying something for myself at Bergdorf Goodman. I went there very seldom, almost if ever.
Then let's limit it to Bergdorf's. Bergdorf's.
So you saw...
Yeah.
Going back 4709.
Buying something for myself at Bergdorf Goodman. I went there very seldom, almost if ever.
And then it jumps to 5009. So for 3 minutes, his lawyer's like, we're not fucking answering that. We're not fucking answering that. We're not answering that. No, we're not answering that. No, we object. No, we're not answering that. Nope, we're not. Okay. 3 minutes later. Okay, well, then let's just keep it to Bergdorf's. Thank you. Go ahead. And that's what happened. And they cut that out. And that makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to everybody else. All right, here we go.
Let's limit it to Bergdorf's. Bergdorf's was pretty close to Trump Tower and very close to the Plaza Hotel, correct?
That's right.
I'm handing you a document that's been marked.
So this is from an excerpt from her book called Hideous Men. And it says, Donald Trump assaulted me in the Bergdorf Goodman dressing room 23 years ago. But he's not alone on the list of awful men in my life. So she made a basically I hate men book. Mm-hmm. And it says, like, why do we need men? Question mark. Well, first of all, if you say that shit, you're a man hater. So It doesn't build credibility for me. And listen, the one thing I know about victims of physical abuse is very seldom do they project willingly their baggage on other men. It's just sometimes they can't control it. This, writing a book on it, is a purposeful intent and decision to hate all men. That is different than a woman who struggles with her victimization and can't keep it separate from somebody she truly cares about, or someone she doesn't know and can't trust because of the victimization she went through, versus someone just applying it to all men because all men are dicks. Amy, right, wrong, and different.
Considering I can't openly speak about it, but I can tell you from experience, yes, this is something no person who has been a victim of any kind of assault or anything traumatic in your life, doesn't have to be assault, anything traumatic in your life, you carry that through. Even if you've done the work to not carry it through, there are still those things like, oh crap, and you don't even realize it. until someone says, hey, like, why are you, what the hell is
Right.
this about? And you're like, oh
Right.
shit, like, yeah, that wasn't your fault. Sorry.
Right.
I'm carrying something with me from the past and I'm putting that on you, and no, it's not your fault. Sorry. Like that's, yeah, we're 100%.
Exactly. And I have not read her book, so I'm not going to make any judgments. My understanding that 3 men have been accused by her. She accused 3 men of criminal assault in the sexual nature. That's my understanding. Whether she's tried or went to court with those, that's just my understanding, Donald. So he asked, and I read that somewhere. That's unconfirmed. I don't know that for a fact. That's my understanding, is that in her book, she accused 3 other men of similar things. And then at some point you have to say, well, you're just not getting the fucking message, lady. You know, maybe you're making some really poor choices. This shouldn't happen to you. I think it's horrible that it happened to you. As a victim myself, I completely agree. But listen, you can't just be like, I'm just going to go in a dressing room with a rich man and see what happens. Oh, I'm just going to go to his hotel room. I'm just going to get naked and just see and bend over and pick up this pencil. Holy shit. I can't believe that just happened to me. At some point, you've got to take some personal responsibility that you're not learning from these terrible lessons that nobody should go through, if they happened at all. Olivia, Amy?
Do we know how old she was at the time?
Olivia's going to do some research on that. Let's power through this part and get to the photograph, because I think it's super important. So what do we need men for? A modest proposal. So when I hear this, the book immediately says, you know, this is why I hate men book. And when you say a modest proposal, you know, just from my own humility and own practical experience, what do we need men for? Well, if you have that dismissive attitude towards men because of things you went through in your life, I can certainly understand that. But when you project it towards all men, it's a little bit, it just seems, I don't know. It doesn't seem authentic. It seems prescribed, and it seems like you're using your victimhood to sell a book versus educate people on how not to get into situations that maybe you were too naive or were just a complete victim of and had no other choice. And you want to teach the lessons learned of why to be precautious and take a certain level of caution towards men. I mean, that's completely different than it sounds like a man hate book, but that's just me.
She's 79.
How old was she during the thing?
Well, when did it happen?
2003.
2003.
Or 4, one of the two.
20 years ago, so she would have been 59 in that area?
No, that it had to be before that. No, it was 96. Check it.
She said 23 years ago.
Just check it. I think it's 96. I think it's 96. Just look it up. Okay, so listen, folks, I'm just breaking down his deposition. I'm not coming after Trump here. I've defended him and said that this lady is, listen, we know she's funded by high value Democrats. We know that this story is just like Blasey Ford, that there may be a portion of truth to it, but it doesn't make it so. I would love to see her say she would take a lie detector test, right? I would love to do that. Go do that. But let's be careful here, because let's just listen to this part and then we'll look at the picture.
DJT 19. It's a book by E. Jean Carroll. It says, "What do we need men for?"
Now, see, this is where my lawyer would tell me to shut up, but I'd be like, excuse me, you want me to read something out of a book that degrades men? Let me ask you a question. If I was a female sitting here, would you say, what do we need women for, and make me read something out of it? I have no desire to read this.
Right.
And my lawyer would object, right? Because I'd tell him beforehand, oh, fuck this. I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to listen to man-hating trope. You want to make a woman subject herself to this? Why are you making me fucking do this? So, but Trump is smart and he's patient and he understands. I'm just going to listen, and I'm going to flip through this book like I've never seen it before. He's his pantomimes are fantastic. This man's very hard to read. That's the one thing about Trump. People think he's stupid. It takes skill set to be deceptive. It takes skill set not to show a tell, and he has very few tells. I will show you his tell where I do believe he's being dishonest later in the video. But let's
allegedly 1995 or 96.
95 or 96.
So she would have been 51, 52.
Yeah, she didn't look good at 51, 52. I'm sorry.
Wow.
All right, let's let's watch, dude. Well, maybe if that's when that photo was taken, she's beautiful. I mean, she was very good looking at one point in her life, but she looks rode hard and put away wet.
That photo of that comes up on the deposition, that was, I think, in 87.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
So
So
he
she met
was-
him way before. So she was much younger. She in her 40s, and she looks
So-
it. She looks very pretty.
That was 8 to 9 years.
So that was a whole bunch of cocaine and alcohol and barbiturates after, allegedly. Once again, allegedly, right? I mean, I don't know
Allegedly.
if she did enough drugs to kill a small pony or not. Looks like it. Okay, let's watch the rest. So look at the way he flips through the book. Nonchalant.
at the
Okay, this is shit.
publication
I'm speed
date-
reading. I'm the best speed reader in the world.
It says first
Huge.
edition, July 2019. Do you have that? You have the book of
But is it worth anything? It's the first edition. Is this worth money? I'll buy it from you.
Sitting here
$1.25.
today, sir, have you ever read either this book in its entirety or any portion of this book?
No, never have. Never. I've never seen the book.
Okay.
Actually.
You responded publicly to Ms. Carroll's allegations on the same day that the excerpt was published in New York Magazine, which
All right, so
blown
this
up
goes through.
for legibility purposes.
Now, here's my first thing that I want to show you,
Let's
and
take a
these
look
are
at that.
these are
So what
super
we've handed
important.
You,
I want you to watch Donald Trump's face. Does everyone see his eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Does everyone know what that's called?
Squinting?
Yeah, it's called the I can't see face. And every single man over 45, 48, 49, 50, whatever age or earlier, like myself, now has to have another pair of glasses called reading glasses. I've got them. And if
I think
when
it's
I
men and
look
women.
at-
I think it's a universal thing.
right. Okay. Yeah, God, I know. I did that meme when it talked about men and being strong. Everyone's like, and women too. I'm like, I fucking need a trophy. Shut up.
No, I'm just saying because my eye doctor told me at 40 my eyes would go to shit, and then at like 40 in 6 months I was like, crap, I need glasses.
Same thing happened to me. I was playing PlayStation at 40 and I'm like, okay, I got a headache. Anyway, so you hold your phone out here because my vision is around 10 feet. It's shit. And it's horrible. My vision's horrible. So I need mid-range glasses, but I can shoot a flea off of a soda can, a couple 100 yards with iron sights, but I just can't do it. Amy, are you out? No, she'll call back. All right. So it's okay. So I just want you to watch Donald Trump's mannerisms here.
as DJT20
There she is.
is a
Ames.
blown up for legibility
What happened?
purposes version of a
Jesse, dude, there's no reason to use that language, man. And all you're doing, and I'm not telling you how to talk. You can be anyone who you want to be, but there's no reason. Listen, I'm not going to say I've never called the woman a B word. I've never called the woman a C word. It's just no reason for that. It's just, you got to be you. But I'm just going to ask you, dial it back just maybe to a 7. I'm not your dad, but you had one, and he raised you a certain way that all women deserve respect. Yes, even the ones that don't give it back. This is happening to Donald Trump. It's not happening to you. And it doesn't matter that the live button is covering Trump right now, but it will in a few seconds. So let me move it. Okay, is that better? Let me know if that's better. All right, sorry, y'all. I can't do that. So I've got to do... I don't think it covers it when I hit
Tweet.
play. Yeah, it does.
posted by a woman by the name of Laura Litvin
There you go.
at
Is that better?
5:17 p.m. on June 21st, 2019. Do you have that in front of you?
Yes.
The statement that is in this tweet, is this a statement that you gave?
I mean, essentially, that's what I said. Yeah.
If you could read that statement into the record. It says, statement from President Donald J. Trump. Regarding the, quote, story, unquote, by E. Jean Carroll, claiming she once encountered me at Bergdorf Goodman 23 years ago, I've never met this person in my life. She is trying to sell a new book that should indicate her motivation. It should be sold in the fiction section. Shame on those who make up false
You guys,
stories
this
of
is really
assault
hard.
to
You're
try
gonna have to
get
deal with it over
publicity
his
for
face.
themselves, or sell a book, or carry out a political agenda, like Julie Swetnick, who falsely accused Justice Brett Kavanaugh. It's
Why
just
do I
as
change
bad for
things
people
and
to
not just do it?
believe.
Yeah, guys, you're gonna have to turn the phone. I mean, it's like I don't care about the live button. I'm sorry. There's not much I can do. I can't constantly go around Facebook's crap. Go watch it on YouTube or Rumble or something, because now I've got to redo this whole thing because I'm trying to satisfy one or two people. So hopefully I can get this thing back on. There it is. All right. Sorry for the frustration, but I can't make everyone happy. So I'm not even going to try. All right. So now that we've done this, let's just realize that you can go watch the video in its entirety or trust me on what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. There we go.
Number one, she's not my type. Number two, it never happened. It never happened, okay? And then the reporters say...
All right, so this is about the part that they say, he says, she's not my type. Now, I want to be clear. Now, if this is going to defend Donald Trump here, so listen to what I'm trying to say. If he says, I don't know her, I've never met her, and he met her on a line, which is a photo line or a handshake line to meet him, he doesn't know that. They don't exchange names and pleasantries. And if he does, he's certainly not going to remember that, right? So what he remembers is when he was introduced to this in 2016. Because remember, I don't know her. So we have to take that for what it's worth. You asked a question, he answered. He doesn't know her. So if he does not know her, and we can all agree with that, right? Because that's what he said. Then Olivia is sending me a picture of her now. I'm going to find it faster than her.
Yeah, that one was from 2006.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to show the picture today because that's really 2016. There's not much difference between her then and now. So this is what she looks like. And I'm sorry. I don't find her to be, not that she needs to be in order to be raped, because that's ridiculous for anyone to say that. But if you're going to bring it up as the prosecutor, I'm going to fucking address it. If you're going to bring up looks, I've got to make this about looks. You're bringing up Donald Trump, so I got to do the same thing. So please, nobody go ahead and chastise me and say, oh my God, you're such a pig. You're such a horrible human being, because I can't believe you're bringing this up. I didn't bring it up. The fucking prosecutor brought it up. Donald Trump brought it up. So I'm just addressing it. She's fucking ugly. Okay. I'm sorry. Right?
She kind of looks like an older female version of him. Less orange.
Oh.
Right. She's not an attractive woman. She's skeletal looking. She's on interview. She's just weird. I don't find her attractive. And it doesn't matter, because rape isn't about looks, and they shouldn't even been brought up. And Donald Trump should have known better and say she's not my type. Yeah, that's fucked up. I mean, since when does rape care about? Oh, you know what? Forget it. Your boobs. You were wearing a jacket. I thought they were better than that. Okay, you know what? Put your clothes back on. We're good. Can you just forget this happened? That's not what fucking happens. It's a crime of anger and power and domination. Who gives a fuck what they look like? Right? Now, obviously, there's going to be a certain type that a lot of these jerk-offs, will focus on one type of woman. But let's be transparent, okay? Most women who are raped or sexually assaulted, it's someone they know. And that's just the God-given truth. Very rarely, and there have been occasions, I'm not going to say there's not, and that's stupid for anyone to say that there have been serial rapists out there, but most people know the person, and they've already been profiled, and they're crimes of anger, and they're not, it's not sexual. Because normal human beings don't have those feelings. But I'm not saying her looks are important. What I'm saying is she looks nothing like Marla Maples now. Nothing like Marla Maples now. But she did look like that, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But the point I'm trying to make is Donald Trump's talking about now, today, 2016 and on, that she's not my type. Now, that also I think is a mistake. Because it doesn't make sense to say that with rape, but it does make sense to say that if there was a physical encounter with her at some point. Whether in a closet or a groupie situation, or he grabbed her by the pussy or whatever, it could have been. And my opinion is that if she did go in, and they went in willingly, because her story has some credible aspects to it, just a little bit, because she has conviction and passion, and she has remained fairly consistent, even though she can't necessarily call it rape, and she's got these weird fucking things she thinks about rape and all this other stuff, and who cares? And yes, it does sound like the SVU episode, and I've said all those things. Mm-hmm. let's assume that she's telling the truth too and something happened. It doesn't sound like rape to me. That's why she won't call it rape. And so there are some scruples there. There's a little bit, even though she's kind of a degenerate person, and I believe she's taking something that may or may not have happened and exploiting it to hurt Donald Trump. She doesn't outright call it rape for a reason, and she dismisses it away for a reason. Donald Trump did the same thing. And if you're going to say that about her, you have to say the same thing. He dismissed it as rape and said that it was about looks and attraction. And to me, that's a defensive reaction, just like she made that. If you're going to call one, you got to call the other if all is fair in love and war. All right. So that's my point on that one, number one. Okay. Going back to the video. I want you to watch this.
Said while seated behind the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. 2019, correct?
Yes.
And same set of questions.
He goes on to say
going
that
to a major.
This is important because this is where he's like,
I didn't have to reach out to anybody because it didn't happen.
They asked him if he went and called anybody from Bergdorf and told them to say a certain thing or not. And this is when he gets, no, because I didn't do anything wrong.
And by the way, if it did happen, it would have been reported within minutes. Talking about going to a major floor, probably, I assume, the most important floor, a major floor in a major department store. That's a very busy store, by the way.
Listen, I didn't say Marla Maples is ugly. I said Marla Maples is beautiful, and she still is.
Right.
I'm just letting you know that Donald Trump only knew her if it's true what he said in 2016. And this woman looked nothing like his types. He likes women with long flowing blonde hair, big gazumbas, very firm faces, very, Slavic looking. And she may have looked that when she was younger, but she doesn't look like that now. And Donald Trump's saying she's not my type because it's not his type. That's what I'm trying to say. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth before you start, oh, well, Matt, come on, you're being so insensitive to this woman. Fuck that. That's not what I'm doing. I didn't bring it up. The prosecutor did. If you're going to bring up looks, I'm going to address it. And she is nothing compared to what Trump usually has on his arm. Nothing close to, now here's the other thing. How do you know what his type is? Because Melania looks nothing like Ivana. Nothing like Marla. She's exactly the opposite. She is Slavic looking. She is Middle European. The other women look like they're from fucking Sweden and Finland. Or high society England. So let's be transparent here. All right? So let's just, I'm not saying anyone's flipping out, but let's just calm down a little bit. I'm not basing this on looks. I understand women get older, and I'm not saying she's a horrible person. I'm just saying she's not Trump's type based upon what she looked like in 2016 and today. That's what I'm saying. Because no offense, she would be 90% of most guys not their type, okay? Just be honest. Listen to what I'm saying. Trump is not coming from a place of 2006, 1995, 96. He's not coming from that place. He's coming from a place that I don't know her. And the first time he interacted with her was when her accusation happened in 2015. And then she looked like fucking Helen Reddy after being an anorexic trope with crack. Okay? Let's just be honest. She's a homely, fucking bitter, weird woman. I'm sorry. I don't have a dishonest bone in my body. I'm not going to sit here and pump her up for you. She was a fucking looker when she was younger. Well, people lose their looks. I'm sorry. Don't make this about looks, and I won't talk about looks. Otherwise, we can all be fair and nice and kind to each other. But she's not the cat's meow. I'm just saying. So the prosecutor can't say she's his type. So be very careful, because the next segment, that's going to be dependent upon this conversation, is people are going to say, oh, wait a second. What do you mean it's not his type? They're dismissing his whole case and saying, well, she is his type. She looks like Marla Maples, because later he makes a mistake. No. That's not what he fucking said. He said, this lady isn't my type today, not then. It's the first time he said he really looked at that picture. He's like, did you see the picture? He's like, yeah, kind of, maybe. Wait till he gets the picture. You'll hear it.
And
no, you didn't lose your looks, Amy. That's not what we're talking about. Fuck's sakes, ladies. Fuck.
Oh my
the
gosh.
women who watch my show, the 64% of you, knock it off. I'm not blaming her. I just got a gray hair today. It's right fucking here. I can't believe it. I got gray hair. I'm a decent looking human being, but I'm fucking grayer than gray.
You're more than decent.
Shut up. I love you. Folks, I'm not knocking you for being old. We're all going to get old. We're all going to look less. But this woman has something. She has something that you don't have, a soul. Okay? I don't like this woman. I think this woman's a gold digger. And I think, allegedly, I think she does some things that she shouldn't. I think she's exaggerating. I think she's lying. I think she writes book and she fucking hates men. And she's getting paid for and her lawyer fees by Democrats. There's a problem with this. I don't like people like this. And I don't like Donald Trump for the way he treats women sometimes. Not all the time. This isn't about you. Stop making it about you. You didn't lose your looks. Amy, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Not you. The other Amy.
I know.
You're dog shit. I would rather sleep with E. Jean Carroll, Amy.
I get that.
So listen, it's not about your looks. I'm not knocking her. The only reason I'm talking about her looks is because the prosecutor and Donald Trump talked about her looks. And I'm explaining to you where Donald Trump's coming from. I'm talking through Donald Trump right now. What his thought, fuck, I wouldn't touch her with your dick. That's what he's thinking. Based upon the 2016 picture. Olivia, go.
Here's a good question. Is she also suing the other two men she may or may not have named in her book?
Go look it up.
Oh.
Let's find out. But let's listen to this because here it comes. Because the picture thing's going to blow you away.
Checkout counters and everything else. And I would be in
Listen
there.
to Trump
I mean,
here.
it's the most ridiculous, disgusting story. It was just made up.
After.
So you can tell he's exasperated right there. And you know at that point they took a break, right? So there was a gap in there, and his lawyer said he's getting pissed. And so they probably pulled him out and went and took a break. And, he walked a lap and then came back because you heard him. He's just like, this is bullshit, and you don't dismiss the credibility of a victim. And I'm surprised the Democrats haven't done that. So he doesn't believe her. He doesn't trust her. Well, you don't believe him either. So knock off the freaking clutching your pearls. Okay. So what did Penny? I'm not going to read people's comments.
You made,
all right. So let's listen to the rest.
The statements that you made in June of 2019, did you or anyone working for you reach out to Bergdorf Goodman?
After the statement was made, no.
In your June 21 statement that's marked as Exhibit 20, you say, and this is the Litvin tweet, I never met this person in my life.
Yes.
Was that a true statement when you made it on June 21, 2019?
Actually, Melissa, you need to watch my show because you're wrong. And I love you. And thanks. Welcome to the show. But you said there's no pictures of her anywhere near Trump. That's not true. Not in his circles. Not true. No events that he was back in. Not true. Nothing. No pictures of him near her anytime, anywhere. That's not true. They don't run in the same circle. She's a sick stalker. That's probably true. The only thing true in the entire statement you just made is the last sentence. And I'm going to prove it to you. Okay, you just got to stick around for a couple more minutes, okay? Because I have to get through this. I'm almost there. But unfortunately, everybody's fucking taking personal offense that I rated E. Jean Carroll and her looks. But I'm not going to explain it again. I've already explained myself.
Like that's just, what do they think she looks like? That's my question. Do they find her attractive?
Right. Yeah, any man in here, you want to be honest? And women are very good at this too. Olivia, is she attractive?
No.
Okay, thanks.
Not
That's
at
it.
all.
See? You sexist bitches.
No. She's not attractive.
Right. I explained it several times. Rolled hard and put away wet.
It was a true statement.
You know who she looks like? If Jenny, who married Forrest Gump, and when she was doing all the drugs, if they would have fast forwarded 40 years, that's what she would look like.
Yeah.
You then cut her hair. Like she was in Aliens or something. All right,
I mean, when I made it, I think subsequently or at some point they showed a picture on a receiving. I was on a celebrity
Okay, so here's a
line
picture of the
for
receiving.
a
Stay tuned
charity,
because this is an interesting part.
And I think I was either shaking her hand or her husband's hand on a receiving line. Like I shake a lot of hands with people, but I had no idea who she was.
So if I can understand your testimony, sir, you're saying that at the time you made the statement that's in
Listen to the words coming out of my mouth.
You were not.
Melissa, I'm going to give you a little taste test. Here you go. There's your photo. Okay? And it doesn't mean shit.
can't find anything about
I don't
her
think.
suing
Well, they're going to
any
lock
other
that
men.
shit up tighter than a drum because any of those things are still going to be private. See, this is the difference. If she sued somebody who wasn't a celebrity, you're not going to hear anything about it because a lot of those things will be because of disclosure, because of privacy laws. You might find out about the case. You might find out there was something on the docket, but a lot of those things are handled out of court. And honestly, I don't think the media cares enough to actually do the research. So let's finish the rest.
Not aware of ever having met Ms. Carroll. You have since seen a photograph that shows you with Ms. Carroll on a receiving line.
Along with a lot of other people. This was a very public, I think it was a charity or a celebrity event or something. And I think that's her
Okay, so let's.
big claim to fame, that she shook my hand at some celebrity event.
So the answer to my question is yes, that after you made the statement, you became aware that there's a photo of you.
Folks, if you're ever going to be a lawyer, don't beg the fucking question. If you can't get him, you're giving him tips on what you're trying him to say, which is going to turn him into a defensive posture, and he will be able to deflect away. You're giving him ammunition. If it doesn't go the way you want, move on to the next question. That's why you formulate your questions in steps. So one doesn't necessarily follow at the depravity of the other. Listen, I'm not a lawyer, but I should have been. Okay? I should have been a detective or a lawyer. Instead, I did other things. And I'm telling you right now, as a lawyer, you don't do that. But he knows exactly where she's going. He's like, she's gonna bring out the photo. She's gonna try to catch me in a lie, and she's not gonna do it. I won't do it.
With Ms. Carroll in a receiving line, correct?
At some point,
Okay.
I saw there was a photo on a receiving line, yes.
Okay. Let's mark the photo. What number are we at? What?
You can lead the witness in the deposition. However, if the lawyer objects that it's continuing to happen and you continue, they can suspend the deposition and the testimony and go to the judge and say, these are the amount of times that they went ahead and we objected to this. They're berating the witness. They're doing this, whatever it is. And that is for the lawyer to do. Right now, there's no reason for him to do this. Okay. At all. Okay. Here's the photo.
You have in front of
All right.
you,
Now, this is where I'm going to come in. And this is an interesting thing. The photo on the right, the people involved. Okay. Donald Trump has his back. He's to the left. E. Jean Carroll is to the left, to the right of Trump. Her husband, I think it's Bob Jones or some shit.
John Johnson. Or
Right. Johnny John Johnson. I don't fucking know. He was on NBC. And then to the right is Ivana Trump, not Ivanka, Ivana. Okay. Ivana had the big hair, right? Was very mink coats, just totally like Joan Collins from Falcon Crest. Okay.
Yes, love her.
Okay. She didn't stalk him here. This is a line. They're smiling. They're saying hello. And this is a photograph you would see at a Ritz and Gala event. I'll tell you, I got a shot with Dakota Meyer. He's a Congressional Medal of Honor. He dated Sarah Palin's daughter. He's a good fucking dude. He's been through some shit. And, I was in a tux. He was in a tux and we stood together. Doesn't mean he fucking knows me. I mean, yeah, he knows who I am because we've had a conversation or two outside of that a couple times, but it's not like we're best friends. It's not like he knows my blood type. So let's relax. This doesn't mean it's a stalking event. She is a prominent, pretty woman. She's married to a newscaster, and this guy's on TV every night, and she has obligations to do the glitz and glamour. Let's just assume positive intent. Here's the photo. Okay. It's not a staged photo. It's not, he's not posing with her. It looks like they're walking into an entrance and she's turning, oh, Donald Trump, and she smiles at him and whatever, and thinks he's hot or rich or whatever. Who cares? Or she thinks about that he's a possible upgrade. Okay. Because that's what gold diggers do. All right. Good.
Yes. Looking at their I'm not a body language expert, but like looking at Ivana and how she's looking at Trump and how I can't think of her. What's her name? John. Whatever her name is. I should know by now.
Billie Jean is not my lover.
I just
That's
call
her
her
name. Billie Jean. Billie Jean is not my lover. That's her name.
Just
Billie Jean.
with the way she's like tilting her head, like that's a woman thing. Like we do that when we're meeting somebody. Oh, nice to meet you.
It's a total flirt
Like,
thing. It's a total flirt thing.
No, know, it's just like a nice to meet you. I think I think we do that to like almost minimize ourselves. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but especially meeting a man, you don't want to come off as like aggressive, I feel like. So I think we always just kind of like turn to the side, like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but see, I would challenge that because he's looking directly at Bobby Johnson. I don't even know that's his name. And she is smiling very bright and waiting for him to notice her. That's what I'm getting off. And that is a flirtatious thing. She's locked with his eyes. He's not even looking at her. He's not even paying attention to her. Ivana is looking at Trump.
Right.
You should be looking at your husband. I'm just saying that is almost a permission thing because he's waiting. Ivana is formally groomed. So she's waiting to be introduced to these two. And Billie Jean is not my lover is trying to get Donald Trump's attention. That's what I see from the photo. And that's just my, I don't know. I'm just telling you, both of them make sense. You're right. You kind of do a disarm thing, you smile. But if you look at it, she's trying to get his eyes and Ivana is doing what most women would do is waiting to be introduced. That's what I'm coming across here as what's happening. Liv?
Yeah, usually when we go into any situation where everyone's a complete stranger to me, but you know people,
right?
I always look at you first, and then you introduce.
Well,
me
right, because I've trained you properly, so you know that's the way you need.
I'm a good.
In fact, I didn't tell you could talk.
Or pot pie.
I'm sorry. I need to go get your pot pie.
Just go get my pot pie, and next time you ask me before speaking, seriously, gosh, woman. God, ooh, I kind of like it. All right, so stop that Boston accent. All right, so here's the photo. Now I want to show you what we've done. I got to close this real quick because this is going to take some explaining. Okay. The first thing I wanted you to do is I wanted you to look at a few things, which number one was Donald Trump and his eyes. And look at how he was looking at all the documents. And even in this, he looks at the photo and you'll see it afterwards. And I want you to see that he is squinting. I mean, he's literally like this, you know, look, old man eyes. And my father had both bifocals. Most men do. I've got them. I've got reading glasses. And he's holding it back. So there's a few things that I want you all to think about. And here it is. Does Donald Trump wear glasses? Amy and Olivia can't answer. So take a second, and let's not look it up. Let's just go off what we know from all the rallies, from all the times on the podium, from all the times he was never really in the White House, the Oval Office that we saw him doing a live conference. But State of the Union, did Donald Trump ever wear glasses? I'm going to answer it for no, Tina, he didn't. Very rarely. If you look it up, you can see that he wore glasses once in a blue moon. I've never seen, most people will say, honestly, they've never seen him wear glasses.
I didn't even know until now.
Yeah. I asked 40 people today and everybody said, no, Donald Trump doesn't wear glasses. I've never seen glasses on him. And if you have, you either know what I'm going to talk about or you have. Okay. So I will tell you most assuredly with no equivocation that Donald Trump does have glasses. And only on rare occasions, this is in court, that he's wearing glasses. And this is very important to the story. This, I don't remember where this was at, probably CPAC or something like that. And occasionally the teleprompter has went down and he's had to use his glasses. He does not, purportedly, he does not like to wear glasses because he thinks it makes him look weak and old. And several news stations have written articles, and here he is in the limo reading his phone, and he has reading glasses. And you can see he's holding it the same distance away he's holding these documents. And out of the images that I found with him in glasses, there weren't many. So very rarely. Now, when he did some of his dancing videos and he was dressed all GQ in the 90s, he wore designer glasses. That's different. He was doing a dress up thing, and I remember that video. But he very rarely wears glasses in public. And it's stated from obviously undisclosed sources, and I don't know if I believe this or not, that he doesn't wear them in public because he thinks it makes him look weak and old. And he doesn't like that type of stuff. That's not what he's about. And that's fine. He doesn't have to. But Donald Trump most assuredly has shitty eyesight when it comes, especially if he's 30 years older than me. And I have a hard problem seeing from here to here on my keyboard, my screen. So I have to wear glasses for it. So he does wear glasses. So I want you to remember that, because you can get massive eye strain, massive headaches if you don't wear glasses. And this guy chooses not to wear them most often. And it can fuck with your vision. There is no doubt. You guys know when you get a new pair of glasses, think about this. What's the first thing that happens? You get walleye vision and you get this weird optics going because your eyes are adjusting to these new lenses. And that's what happens. And if you don't wear them, the same thing happens too. So I want you to think about that first. Go ahead, Liv.
So Tina just said when they asked him to read that statement, he checked his suit for his glasses. I never noticed that, but maybe that's something he did because that's automatic.
And he didn't bring them. We know that. So he didn't bring his glasses because he doesn't wear them throughout the entire interview. And I'm going to prove this to you. And I'm going to show this to you. And you get to see it. And I hope you appreciate the work because I wish we had like 200 fucking people on. Go ahead, Amy. It's Cinco de Mayo. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I just sent you a message privately to both of you, but you're not checking them. I need to, no, I just need to run to go to the bathroom really quick. No,
go, get out of here. Go. We'll wait.
You don't need to ask permission.
Just
well,
go.
I just didn't want to like get up and leave. I just need to go.
You should.
Pee really
get up and go.
I'll be like
get out of here.
2 minutes early.
Yeah, well, I want you to see this, so hurry up. All right.
Oh,
so,
it, didn't I? Is that what I saw earlier?
No, you have not, but you need to go to the bathroom. So go to the bathroom, take your time.
I'll be right back.
Well, I'll wait. All right, so I'll set this up while we're doing this. Now, the thing is I'm going to have to blow this window up bigger. And let me do this. I'm going to make a new window because unfortunately, okay. Now I can bring this down and there we go. And I want to expand this window so you all can see it. Then we'll change Amy to a circle. That's a square. It's my first day doing objects. My mommy's very proud. She's like, Daddy does a good job doing squares. He's fantastic. I'm just talking about what an idiot I am because I can't know the difference between a squircle and a circle. All right.
A squircle? We got one here in Lovettsville.
That's right. That's right. All right. So Amy and I are now on. Sorry. And everybody wants me to enhance. We're not going to need to because once I get into the app, I will enhance. So I have two files here. I've got the main file PSD, and I want you to show the result of this photo. And this doesn't need to be big. And the dark black is the underlying photo, but the actual photo itself that he's looking at is essentially just like this. I've made it almost identical, and I'm going to show you. So this is bigger by about 2 inches across and 2 inches on top. This isn't important. I printed this out. That's what she said. That's right. That's what she said.
I had to, that was.
Shut up. Don't apologize when you get a good one in. Be quiet. Just take your win. Take your win. That's what she said. That's right. Take your win like a champ. Right on the chin. Here's a towel. Get out of my room. All right. So the first thing I did is I went ahead and took a screenshot. Now, you all need to understand the basic rule of using geometry and measurement in photographs to establish a primer. Is in intelligence, in satellite imagery, in even taking standard digital photos or video, we would identify where people were anywhere over the country based upon certain models of lights that they would use or couches or certain clothes or the way their buttons were. We could figure out by the style of clothing where they were from and what country. So there are many different indicators that we would use to analyze imagery. Still and digital, doesn't matter. And I'm pretty good at this. So you either have to trust me that I know what I'm talking about, or you have to assume that I'm bullshitting you, and you get to decide. That's the great thing. That's the wonderful part about this. But hopefully by the end of this, you see what we've got. Okay. So this is a screenshot. Now right here, you're like, well, that Matt, you can measure that with a tape measure, and on your big screen, it's going to be 7 inches. And on this one, it's going to be 2 inches because this monitor is shorter. It doesn't work. I don't understand my phone. I could measure it. It doesn't matter because it's all perspective. Once I know that piece of paper is 8.5 inches wide, and 11 inches long, I now have my primer. That's the great thing about standard paper. So it doesn't matter whether I blow this thing up to a billboard. I know how big his tie is in relation to that because I know how long a tie is. I know how big his fingers are because on record, I can use video images to go ahead and establish the length of that paper and then use the measuring and add inches to 8.5 across. And now I have a measuring stick to check anything in the entire photograph to go ahead and give me my primer for my perspective. Does everyone understand what I just said?
Yes.
Liv?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
If you don't, you'd tell me. So now here's the problem is I don't know how big the photograph is because no matter what, I can't see the photograph, can I? Right. So I can't see the photograph on this piece of paper because it's turned away from me and this image is not three-dimensional. Does everyone understand that? Mm-hmm. So I have to use a little trick of the trade, a little tricky trade. Here it is. Amy, you gonna watch this?
I am. I'm also I have it up on my phone because my screen's fuzzy. I don't know. My internet's weird.
No problem. I'm just making sure we can all follow because I want your thoughts. But now do you guys see the picture?
Yes.
And it's really simple because if you don't think this is the same image, I'll just go ahead and turn down the opacity. And all I did was duplicate the image and I put up the contrast, decrease the saturation, and I changed the opacity layer to a linear light, which is a little piece of software inside Photoshop, which allows me to enhance the dark contrast. And I can now physically see the picture enough to have contour lines and everything else that I need to identify the real photo. Does everyone see that?
Yeah.
Folks, I'm pretty good at this. Just wait. It gets fucking better. Because what I want to see is what the image looked like in Donald Trump's eyes. And is it blurry to me? So I'm going to show you what Donald Trump looked at. Exactly. In the same amount of depth and the same amount of perception that he would have, what that image would look like to him in ratio to proportion. Now, why is this important? Because they're saying that this is the linchpin. This is the Rosetta Stone that convicts him when he said she's not my type. And because he mistaked Jean Carroll for his actual future wife, Marla Maples, it should show them that he wasn't even married at the time to her, but he can't remember when he was married to her. That's why they asked him the question. He doesn't remember if he was married to her or not. So he's assuming that that's Marla fucking Maples because they look alike. Now I'm going to prove it to you because he didn't have his glasses. And he says at the end of the video that it is fuzzy. And here's how I'm going to prove it to you. This is a high-res photo. It looks just like this. I've got this photo blown up and I have it in 2000 by 3000, which is essentially 4.5 by 6, which is what that photo is on that piece of paper. And as a high-res photo, but they didn't use a high-res photo. Those fuckers did something different. I showed you the picture when I first got it in, and it actually looks just like that. That's the photo. If you look at the difference, there's the high-res, there's the non-high-res. And even watching this TV, and I'll blow this up. Let's look at it together so you can really see the difference. I'm even going to go into pixel count. If I go ahead, take that off, that's high res, that's low res. Everyone understand?
Yep.
So that's the image they should have used, which is a high res image, which looks much clearer. I'll show you how clear this image is, because this will blow you away. Look how clear this is. Watch how far I can zoom in. They could have shown him that. You guys looking at that? That's a high-res image. That's an incredibly high-resolution image. And the image that they show Donald Trump, and I'm going to prove it to you right now, as soon as I find the second image. It's in my trash can, but I already deleted it, so it doesn't matter. It's in my Photoshop app. But that's the high-res image. So to show you, once again, that's the image they could have shown. That has a ton of quality. It's not huge, but it's probably 2-3 megapixel image. It's strong. It could at least be 11 by 17. Okay? It could be a very high quality picture. All right. Now that we've established this, I want to show you exactly what I did, so everyone understands. So if you watch, if I take this top picture off, which is the high resolution image, And you can see the high resolution image here. I'm going to turn the high resolution image off, and I'm going to turn on the low resolution image. So I was just showing you, they could have shown him a high quality picture. They didn't. They showed him a small picture. Now, how small is this picture to Donald Trump? Well, you're looking at it. And if you think I'm bullshitting you, that these pictures are different, watch what happens right here. When I turn this down, they're overlaid off the top of each other, and you can see that it's exact proportionate. So I've taken the high-res image and what it would ultimately look like, which is slightly better, but still should have been blown up, versus the low-res image that they put here in a sepia tone, which actually decreases depth. Sepia tone creates more fuzziness. It creates a softer image. Everyone's seen old Western photos. Even if it's a high-quality image you've taken recently, you put it on sepia, whatever it is, it looks a little bit fuzzier and there's less depth perception because it ultimately turns up the white balance and turns down the black contrast and adds a yellow tint to it. Okay. So that's what you get. There is the photo. Now, how did I know where to put the border? Just so we all understand. So there's the border. You're like, Matt, how do you know that that's the fucking border of the photograph? Well, it's easy because all I did was go ahead and use this tool to measure around the border that's showing through the piece of paper. And with my measurements, knowing that gives you what he's looking at. Does everyone understand? Okay. Now, if we zoom into this picture, right now it's zoomed to 400%, so you can see it. That's a low res image. So that's a standard 8.5 by 11 landscape turned in a standard resolution. If we want to blow it up to print quality of 150 or higher to get actual size, that is going to be the size. Look how blurry it is. So It's hard to see her. Now, everybody watch this because this is the cool trick. That is Marla Maples. And it's not going to be the same depth, and it's not going to look exactly alike. But if you take her out of it, the nose, the mouth, the hair is fairly close. Now, if we go back to the depth that I showed you as reality, you tell me. Can you discern one picture over the other? Because this Marla Maple image is in a high-res image that is equivalent to the black one I just showed you, and see how much better you can see her face. But still extremely small to the average eye, especially somebody who can't see. So if the Democrats are saying that she looks like Marla Maples and she's an identical clone, then of course Donald Trump would be confused because one, he doesn't have his glasses. He's 70-something fucking years old. He wears them in private, and he didn't have them with him as he looked in his jacket to find his glasses. And now we can listen to the video with context. Does everyone understand what I did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have the picture of what it looks like in his hands and what he would see. And it's just like this, minus cut off where the red marks are. That's basically what he would see. I gave this to Ethan, my 10-year-old son. My 10-year-old son wears glasses. He doesn't have the best eyes. He held it same distance away as Donald Trump because I can measure that. And, you know, he's probably around 18 to 20 inches away. And I had him wear his glasses, and I said, can you see the woman? He goes, oh, clearly. I have him take it off. And he's like, I can't even hardly see her. And he has his short-range vision is bad. It's not that of a 70-year-old man. And he had a hard time seeing it. He says, Dad, it's really fuzzy. I can't see it. I'm looking at it. And when I'm looking like this, I have to pull back because when I'm like this, it's fuzzy as hell for me. That is the image. So one, we know one of two things. The prosecution gave him a fuzzy fucking image when they could have given him a high res image. They could have given an 8x10 photo, printed it out, and it would have been beautiful hang up quality. They chose not to because I've got that image right here and it took me 2 seconds to get it off the internet. 2 seconds. Right here. And if you don't believe me, once again, tell me you're not going to know who that is. after looking at a woman's face intimately for 3 years, tell me you're not going to, oh, no, that's not Marla Maples. Who is that? That's Jean Carroll. So I want you to think of the facts. One is Donald Trump, his eyesight is shit. I've proven that to you. He wears reading glasses. So up close is horrible. That's number one. Number two, I want you to think about the fact that this is from 1987, the photo. So you're asking him to recall someone he met that he did not meet, that he literally just walked by going into an establishment. And the only thing he's seen of her is 2015 and 16, where her hair is short, she's frail, she has wrinkles, she looks sickly, doesn't look anything like that lady. And he goes, she's not my type. Probably a really horrible thing to say to a rape victim, if she's a rape victim. But you know what? We all know Donald Trump is not sensitive with his bedside manner, and we're not going to go ahead and chastise him for that right now, because he's already been put on trial for that for plenty. But when he's asked the question, do you know her? The answer is no, but I do know her from 2015 and 16 because I've seen her on fucking TV because she's on Anderson Cooper and everywhere else. And that is not my type. It isn't his type. She doesn't look anything like Melania, doesn't look anything like Marla Maples, and doesn't look like anything like Ivana Trump at all. At all. So that's what he's saying. So this, in my opinion, completely destroys the leftist narrative that, oh my God, did you see that? He thinks that it's Marla Maples. Okay. Knock it off, because that's bullshit. And I just proved you wrong. And if people don't share this and people don't get, like, take this all, there's nothing I can do for you. Because in my opinion, there's nobody doing this but me. Has anyone even heard this? Is anyone breaking this shit down?
No. Because
this is a simple thing to do. It's so easy to do this. And all they got to do is say, he didn't have his fucking glasses on. I just proved to you what it would look like. And it's completely fuzzy and would be hard for anyone to remember something from that long ago. And he just told you he did not remember when he was married to Marla Maples. He said, I don't remember. So he doesn't know if he was he didn't even look at Ivana. He didn't even look at her. His eyes go immediately to Bob Johnson and goes to the woman who he thinks is Marla Maples. And he thinks fucking the other lady who is a side profile of Ivana. And honestly, you're like, well, why didn't you know who Ivana was? Well, because I don't even know if he checked her off. The last question he had was about Marla Maples. So he's assuming the photo was taken during that time. And so his eye went to her and goes, well, that looks like Marla Maples. That's not Marla Maples. Wait, that's Ivana. There could have been a level of confusion there. Does everyone understand? Mm-hmm. This isn't a gotcha. Yeah. This is what happened in any testimony. So let's stop. And let's look at the thing that puts him in a bad light. And then, Amy, if you got to go, you got to go. It's 10 o'clock, but I think we're doing okay on time. If we're not, let me know.
No, it's fine. It's 10 o'clock.
Black and white photo.
Yeah. But I will say this. I said it's 10, but it's, I feel like they intended it to be a gotcha moment. It just didn't come across, you know what I mean? Like that was their intent. It was trying the way they worded the questions, the sequence of their question. I mean, that's how it all works. They literally arranged.
Well, no, I understand that, but I don't think they expected him not to ID. I really don't think that they expected him to ID Marla at all. They're like, because let's listen to the video. Watch this
graph that we've marked as DJT23.
Hold on. Let's watch the video. Now we'll put it all together with the video, and this is going to make a lot of sense. Okay. This will help put everything together with a big giant bow.
And I'm going to ask you, is this the photo that you were just referring to?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And do you recall when you first saw this photo?
At some point during the process, I saw it. That's, I guess, her husband, John Johnson, who was an anchor for ABC. Nice guy, I thought. I mean, I don't know him, but I thought he was pretty good at what he did. I don't even know who the woman, let's see, I don't know who.
Listen, I want to be clear. People are asking right now, holy shit, can you send this to Trump's lawyers? If his lawyers are worth anything, they've already done this work. And that's why he's not showing up. They don't need to. He didn't have his glasses. I am not here to help Donald Trump. I am not here to hurt Joe Biden. I'm here to give you the truth. And that's my responsibility is to you. If you want to send this to Donald Trump's lawyers, then do it. If you guys want it, you do with the information what you will, but I'm not here for them. I'm here for you. And if somebody wants to pay me to do this shit, I'll be happy to pick a check, but I'm not going to be loyal to them. I will call them out just as hard as I will call anyone out. I'll give you the straight poop. But my loyalty, if you pay me, it's because you're paying me for my honesty, my impartiality, because I still think it's very good chance that Donald Trump possibly did something with this woman and it was probably consensual. That's my gut.
What I'm thinking.
That's my gut. I bet he met her in a fucking dressing room and they said, well, let's meet. And then he fucking went and grabbed her and went into a dressing room and messed around a little bit. You know what? Who fucking cares? I don't care.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Amy.
I was going to say, I think by today's standards, I don't think it would be judged consensual by today's standards.
Of course not. It wouldn't be, but it doesn't matter because this was,
I know that. I'm just,
you can't prove any
always,
of this. This is all hearsay.
Yeah.
He even said, I'll give you DNA. And at the end, they're like, no, we don't want DNA. It looks better if you don't. So, you know, he held the DNA as long as he could. That's the way this works. This is the dumbest thing. And civilly, he may lose, but this is not criminal. This is a civil case. And honestly, if you're going to say, then Bill Clinton's guilty too, because he settled his civil case. Hillary Clinton settled her civil case when it came to the dirty dossier and hiring a British spy. Obama settled his case against the Foreign Trade Commission, the FEC, Foreign Election Commission. Gosh darn it, Federal Election Commission. And he had over $800,000 fined against him because he was over the cap for his political spending. Give me a fucking break. Everybody settles. So don't give me this shit that it means guilty. But if I am a jury, I'm looking at this, I'm going, this is stupid. There's one thing he says here, and it's shitty. And that's what leads me to believe that he may have screwed around with her. It just feels that way. Here it is. But watch this. Watch the rest of this first.
Marla.
Yes, Robbie, there's an image. I showed it on the show. Rewind it when it stops.
Yeah, that's my wife.
Which woman are you pointing
You got to hear this one.
Here.
Listen.
You say Marla's in this photo?
That's Marla. Yeah, that's my wife.
Which woman are you pointing to? No.
Here.
Carol.
Oh, is that,
The person you just pointed to was
I
E. Jean
see.
Carroll.
Who is that? Who is this?
Point, your wife.
See, so you hear the prosecutor. The woman you're just pointing to is E. Jean Carroll. It's like, you fucking sandbagger. You can look at him. He's confused. Now, he doesn't lose. He's unflappable. He doesn't lose his composure. He immediately just tells the truth. Now, everyone says this guy said 37,000 lies. But you know what? He tells the truth here because you can hear it. Listen to this.
And the person,
Good night, buddy. I love you. Oh, well, you look very sporty, like you're going to go surfing.
No, Denver.
Oh, you're nuggetsed up.
Yeah.
I need to get you a Nuggets jersey. I'll go pick you one up for you tonight. Love you. Bye.
woman on the right is your then wife,
I don't know.
Ivana?
This was the picture. I assume that's John Johnson. Is that
That's Carol.
Carol? Because it's very blurry.
Okay. It's very blurry. And now they cut, right? So the lawyer got involved. And the lawyer said, listen, my client doesn't have his glasses. But we're going to go ahead and play this. We're going to put this up. But we need you to understand that we also need to add this to the testimony that's a cheap trick. This this picture is not high quality. This is going to be inadmissible. This is a form of not entrapment, but this is the type of stuff why lawyers are in the room during depositions, because the way you jumped on him, any judge is going to see that and go, shit. So that's, to me, that's nothing, because he already demonstrated confusion before the picture even showed up about Marla Maples, number one. Number two, he didn't know the dates. Number three, he doesn't remember when the picture was taken because there's no reason for him to remember, because it was a flash in the pants interaction. Okay? And
I guarantee everywhere he went, pictures were being taken of him.
Yes, and I already demonstrated to you that the picture's blurry. For somebody who has decent vision, I put on my glasses, it's still blurry. If anybody wants to see this, I'll send you the file and you can print it out at home. And I haven't altered anything. I just showed you on Photoshop what I did. It's not hard. Let's finish the rest of this real quick.
Now, in your June 21 statement, which is Ms. Carroll was trying to sell a new book of the.
Now he says, shame on you.
I didn't know that.
That certified you.
So I'm going to paraphrase here, and this
One
is
of
the
the
one.
other things that you said about.
This is the one that gets him in trouble, and then we're going to wrap this up. So at some point, he gets into the grab him by the pussy comment. You know what? I can find this on Twitter in 2 seconds. Because it's all over Twitter.
Very famous in this video.
God, how quickly did it take me to find that? That was easy. All right, here it is. Okay.
I just start kissing, and you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's. If you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately.
How long have Homo sapiens been on the planet? Fucking million. Really, Donald? I mean, dude, you crushed it.
Until that point.
Dude, wait, it's not done. It gets worse.
Oh, boy.
Fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
Unfortunately or fortunately. What it's. If you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
Fortunately. Grab my
And you
pussy.
consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
And you say, and again, this is.
You just
become very
openly
famous
fucking, you just
in this video.
ultimately
I just start
admit
kissing
it. See,
them.
that's the,
It's
hold
like
on,
a
let me close this. That's the smoking gun.
Yeah.
You just openly admit that grabbing women by the pussy is okay. And because you're a star, it's still okay. And you condoned it back then, and you condone it now. You just defend it because it's been happening on the planet for a million fucking years, even though human beings haven't been on the planet for a million years. Fuck. That right there, to me, that pays her. That pays her off. That pays her. Because what you just said is you confirmed her story, that you would grab a woman without her consent. And that's the accusation.
I will. I'm not defending him on this, and
No, you don't have to, because I'm not going to either. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with everything you just said. But total speculation here. I'm assuming Donald Trump does feel like he is a star. We all know what Hollywood is like. We know what goes on in Hollywood, and we probably don't know a lot that goes on in Hollywood. So
right, here you
what
go.
I think he was painting the picture of is, if you're rich and famous, you get away with everything, right?
Okay. Yeah, Miss Robinson, thank you so much for your testimony. We really appreciate it today. So what you're basically saying is rich people get to rape other people?
Yeah.
You're fucked. Right? So there's no way out of this. Yeah, but you get my point, right? Even though you're right, and we all know you're right, you're condoning rape. You're saying rich people can rape whoever they want. See, you can't get out of that.
Unfortunately.
Right. Matt, well, Mr. Prosecutor, fortunately or unfortunately, that's the truth. See, the point is, all Donald Trump would have to say is the following. I said some stupid things, and I'm not proud of it. But locker room talk is locker room talk. You just basically said that it's not fucking locker room talk. And that's what you said in 2015. It was locker room talk. And that was a great thing. You should have just kept saying that. But you changed your story. And they got you 150 fucking times on video saying it was locker room talk. And you just confirmed that it's true and you agree with it. That's going to sink him. If anything's going to sink, if he's going to pay, that's where he's going to pay.
Yeah. Unfortunately. I love that.
Unfortunately. It's a great line. Unfortunately. But see, I'll defend him when he deserves to be defended. And I defended him through that entire deposition. But the one thing, if I'm a prosecutor, I'm like, that's the payday. I look at E. Jean Carroll, I'm like, pound it. Right here, sister. We just got the money. And why? Because we're like, we got your client openly admitting that he grabs women by the pussy and he thinks it's okay. So now that's no longer hearsay. It's an admission of guilt. Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes.
Liv? Yeah. So I want to get everybody's thoughts. Let's like you just saw the whole presentation. I want to get your thoughts. What do you think? Right, wrong, indifferent. I want to hear your opinions.
Who first? Anybody?
Penny says, hold on. Penny says, I think he was saying rich and famous people do what they want, regardless. Listen, Penny, I love you. And you've been on the show a while, but you can't make excuses for him. He said those words.
But he also was asked, do you think of yourself as a star or celebrity?
And he said yes.
Said yes. So that means
he put himself in that category. But he also said it with Billy Bush. And he said, I just walk up to him and I grab him and I start kissing him. I don't ask him. They, rich people, that's what they do. Powerful people, I just grab him by the pussy. He's already said that. And then what he said is he came out and made a long statement. Don't you remember this happened right before fucking Comey reopened the case on Hillary? He was down 21 points in the polls. Hillary was going to run away with it. Nobody thought he was going to win. They thought it was going to be over by 10 o'clock. And then Comey came out a few days before the election and sunk Hillary. And he came out with this wonderful speech of contrition. And he was like, listen, I apologize for the way this is locker room talk. It's not the way a man should talk. I've learned over the years, blah, blah. And it was a great speech. You should have fucking stuck to that. You changed your story. What you did is the same exact thing that Chief Gallagher did, the Navy SEAL, at 2 years after his trial, then when admitted that he murdered the guy. Allegedly, because I got to be careful to protect myself, but that's what he did. And then he went ahead and threw Dan Crenshaw under the bus. And then I showed you articles where Dan Crenshaw signed bills and pushed legislation to get him taken care of and put spotlight on it. So you know what? You can hide. There's an old saying that is in the special forces community. It's also from a great movie called Rain of Fire. A bullet never lies. A bullet never lies. And what that basically means that if you're fired at and it hits you, that's justice. In some way or another, that bullet was meant for you. And it doesn't happen in all cases, but when two people are going to exchange fire who are both equally determined to take each other down, the bullet never lies. Or if you're going to put one to your temple, the bullet never lies. And the saying in Rain of Fire is ultimately that if you put a gun to your head and it goes off, you're guilty and God didn't step in. And if it doesn't, then it's a miracle. So it's just a bullet never lies. And if you're going to stand up there and not admit any wrongdoing and not own something of that they know is true, they're going to catch you in a lie. And if they catch you in one lie, they get you in another. And then they get you in another. And they get you in another. Yeah, bullet always tells the truth. That's right. Sorry, doesn't tell a lie. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Bullet only tells the truth. Mm-hmm. So my whole point is that if you're breaking this thing down like I do and breaking everything down into sections, you've got to pass on Donald Trump, green light on everything. And even where he mistook her for Marla Maples, and I showed you why, that's just an innocent mistake. He failed ultimately on the biggest question, which was, do you think women deserve to be grabbed by the pussy? And he said, they sure do. And I'm one of the people who can do it. And right. I don't care what you're like, but that's not what he said. You know what? We've been saying that for Donald Trump for too long. He needs to stand by what he says. And when he says stupid shit like that, the answer was, this was locker room talk. I've already owned this. I'm ashamed of it. But in no way, shape, or form did I do this to any woman. I never would. I never did. And I never will. That's it. End of the conversation. You're done. You just crush that deposition and you can go home. That's my point.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Is there a statute of limitations? Do we ever why is this?
No, there's not a statute of limitations on a felony. No, not like this. Okay. Yeah, rape and murder. And no, there's no statute of limitations.
She said it wasn't rape. She admitted that it wasn't rape. She said it was.
No, that's not quite what she said. No, she says, I don't call it rape. It's like, you don't call it rape. She says, I call it a fight. Yeah. So what she's saying is I don't want, she said, I don't want to be a victim. So I don't want to put myself in that box. Right. So listen, here's my final minute here.
Putting herself in that box.
Well, she is a box. She's an incredible box. I'm not happy.
I've got something to say.
Okay, Olivia has something to say. What?
Okay, interesting. I was just looking up this whole thing. So everyone knows who Kellyanne Conway is, right? One of
Yeah, I know Kellyanne Conway.
Okay.
She was essentially ran his campaign and picked up after Mike Lewandowski resigned. Yeah.
Okay, so
Well-
does anyone know who her husband was?
Yeah, I know who her husband was.
His name's George Conway.
Yeah, I do know George
a
Conway.
lawyer.
Yeah, who hates
And
Trump.
Hates Trump.
Hates Trump completely. Who essentially blamed the reason why he divorced Kellyanne Conway and why they separated was because of Trump and her loyalty to Trump, and he ultimately left her. Yes, I know exactly who he is.
On the stand, E. Jean Carroll said that he's the one who convinced her to sue Donald Trump.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And it's because apparently he called her a liar after she came out with the accusation, so it's defamation.
Right.
So that makes me wonder if if it was all talked about and she was prepped for this and it's to get Donald Trump back. I wonder if this is
listen,
revenge thing.
this is going to listen. Okay, here's the thing. She either wins a civil lawsuit and gets paid and then gets paid on her book, or she gets paid on her book. This is free publicity. This is a publicist's dream. So it doesn't matter. She wins either way. If she gets paid out by Donald Trump, she makes money in the book. If she doesn't get paid out on Donald Trump, everyone's going to want to read the book. By the way, I'm wearing a 22 a day shirt. Thank you very much. I'm wearing my Red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed.
I'm actually wearing Red Friday too.
Yeah, we're all wearing Red Friday. Glenn, I don't understand why you never love my shirts on Friday. I always wear them. So anyway, no statute of limitations on sexual assault, rape, murder, things like that.
And it's defamation.
Now,
so it's
I want everyone to remember, okay, and just listen to what I'm saying. I want everyone to take a deep fucking breath. Because Bragg supposedly had Donald Trump by the balls and he was going to go to prison. And this fucking case is going nowhere. So this whole thing in New York about paying off Stormy Daniels, they got no traction out of this. Nobody fucking cares. The only thing, now this rape case, nobody gives a shit. I mean, let's be honest with you. Nobody fucking cares. Because honestly, we hear this all the time. Oh, Kavanaugh. The only reason why they didn't say that Amy Coney Barrett raped people is because it's stupid for a woman to do that. So what did they say? They called her a fucking Stepford wife. That she was Opus Dei Catholic and she used to punish herself with whips and shit. Fucking the liberals will come up with anything to destroy credibility. So let's just stop. And remember, the Republicans did the same thing to Ketanji Brown Jackson. So you can sit here and say that Ketanji Brown Jackson's CRT and all this other shit. Shut up. Shut up. You don't like her because she's a fucking liberal. That's why you don't like her. Just be honest. Just be honest. She's fucking liberal. We don't like their policies. We don't like their politics. We would never sit down and have dinner with them because we think they're a bunch of fucking idiots. But Ketanji Brown Jackson, oh my God, she decreased fucking, she was a progressive fucking DA and she shaved off fucking, pedophiles 7 years. Yeah. And you know what? So did fucking 3,000 other liberal fucking lawyers because that's what the district courts and the judges said to do. I don't know what to tell you. No, it's not right. Pedos should get fucking hung by their testicles until dead. Oh, excuse me, until they pass out and go to sleep. But you don't get everything you want in life. I don't like Ketanji Brown Jackson. I hate her fucking policies. But you know what? Republicans do the same shit as Democrats do. The difference is that I don't see us framing people. And that's the shit that Democrats do. And this can go all the way back to Estrada. We can go all the way back to Ronald Reagan over this. They've been doing this with federal and district judges for fucking 35 years. And if you want to go look at history, go look at how many times Republicans own the Supreme Court. 78% of the time, Democrats have owned the Supreme Court over the last 100 years. Don't give me any shit that they didn't stack the courts too. They're just pissed because their cornflakes has some urine in it because they lost 2016 and put up a horrible fucking woman that everyone hated against a game show host and lost. That's what they're upset about. Yeah. Last minute.
Okay.
Olivia, go.
So my whole opinion on this, I think they did something. I think it was consensual. I mean, she seems like the gold digger type. And you see those women and they throw themselves at men with money. I mean, how many famous men, Kobe Bryant, the rape lawsuit and that, where it was consensual. Yeah. She went to the hotel with him and then she claimed rape and he paid her off to get it off the news. I mean, happens all the time.
And I don't think Kobe's a rapist in any way, fucking shape or form.
I don't think so either. I think it was consensual. And so, I mean, it happens all the time. These women throw themselves at these men with money, wanting a payday. That is their whole point. And I think She was put up to this. She's got the book.
Yep.
She needs she
Yep.
wants to get publicity over it. I think she was put up to this by Kellyanne's ex-husband because he hates Trump. And I also think that if he would have, when she accused him of it, if she would have said it was consensual, or if he would have come out and said, yeah, but it was consensual, instead of saying she's a liar, maybe she wouldn't have trying to sue him, because it's defamation she's trying to get him for.
But you're not going to, but see, listen, he has freedom of speech, and he can call her a liar. He has every right to call her a liar. There's nothing that says that is defamation to destroy someone's character based upon this and libel and slander, because ultimately she has to prove that she's never lied in her life.
Yeah.
But hold on a second. Stop.
Okay.
You got to process stuff sometimes. I love you, but
Okay.
you just roll over my comments and you don't think about it for a second. And then you say something. I'm like, wait a second. I just told, okay, listen to what I just said. Can you prove that she has never lied in her life?
No.
Then it's not libel and slander.
Yeah.
Okay. If you say, hey, she's a cocksucker, pardon my French, folks and ladies, and you go, oh, well, no, I'm not. It's like, have you never performed fellatio on a man? I'm not going to answer that question. Well, then trial is dismissed. You refuse to answer the question. You have to prove that it's untrue. So he can call her a liar all goddamn day long. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Gosh, I said cocksucker and the Lord's name. I'm sorry. I'm more worried about the Lord's name. I apologize, folks.
You just said it again.
What?
He said the C word again.
Oh, I don't care about that. I care about that I said GD. I'm sorry about using the Lord's name in vain. But my whole point is that you have to prove upon a reasonable doubt that she did not lie ever in her life. I mean, because you can just say, she's a liar. But if she says she lied about this specific event and this, and this, that's a different thing. Mm-hmm. So in court, if she did not win in her trial and it was dismissed, not on a technicality, but because she couldn't bring evidence or something on her side, he has every right to say that this was a dishonest or she lied or whatever else, as long as he was not doing it from a libel and slander standpoint and that it was factual. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right, now go.
Yep. So I think that, honestly, it reminds me of the whole Justice Kavanaugh thing, where he went to school with her.
Yep.
So she had reasonable cause because it was so long ago, I went to school with him, blah, 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 blah. It seems like George Conway is just pushing this to get revenge on Trump. If he wasn't involved, I wonder if she would even come forward. If it would have just been part of the book and that's it. Because she's, as far as we know, she's not suing the other men.
Okay, real quick. Guys, listen to Amy. If she tells you to be careful of the algorithm, you can't say anything like that. Piano wire and strap people, you got to be very careful. If you put something in text, you're going to get banned. Be careful. Never make a threat or never talk about violence on Facebook. You can do it on the mic, but you cannot do it in text. Please do not. See, this is willing. They have to participate, but text can be seen by anybody through scroll. So Facebook is very particular. So be very careful. If Amy says stop, you should stop because you're going to get flagged immediately. My show is, they watch me like a hawk. They're nice to me. They're taking care of me lately. I'll be honest with you. Facebook's been very good to me, but they watch this channel like a hawk because we have liberals in here who are watching, who are reporting people to say stuff like this. They get off on it. And we have ex-viewers who are petulant fucking children. And I know who you are, who can't have a conversation with me because they're fucking idiots. And they go ahead and report my viewers. So just understand, this channel's hot and it's live and there's maybe not a lot of people on, but I trust you. Some of the people on are not good people. Amy, last minute goes to you. Thank you for being so awesome and patient and just amazing. Would love to get your thoughts on tonight and what you think.
I don't know that's just too many compliments. 1, 2.
Oh, did I do that? I'm sorry. You suck.
It's like way too complimentary.
I know. What am I
Wonderful to
thinking?
have
You suck. Amy, you suck.
patience. Like, it's just weird. I'm used to being put down and told I'm horrible.
By
kidding.
who? By me?
You, Roy, obviously.
Yeah, listen, the banter that we do is more like sister brother stuff. I don't mean it at all. 100%. And I love you to death.
No, I know. No. I've never taken offense to anything you've ever said to me ever. I've never walked off the show.
I'll try harder.
With any bad feelings. Yeah. No, my brother made me cry every day pretty much growing up. So yeah, you try harder. No, but really, I agree with so much of what Olivia says. I don't want to say that I think for sure it was consensual. I could see her as a younger person, putting herself in a situation. I think I said this last time we talked about putting herself in a situation that she thought maybe she was going to be okay with, and then in the moment she decided she wasn't okay with that, but didn't know how to get out of it. So in her mind, it wasn't okay, but no one else knew it wasn't okay. And now she's turning the tables 30 years later, whatever it is.
Right.
So I don't know if she was a fully willing participant, but again, we don't know if she conveyed that to him at the time or even shortly after, or said, I mean, as an adult and living through what I've lived through, there's been times where I'm like, I didn't really enjoy that. That was weird for me, and I don't want to do that again. Like I stayed in it because like you were having fun, but like, hey, I'm just like I'm out of that. And I think that's what most adults do. At least I'm starting to learn that. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know the situation. I don't believe either of them, to be perfectly honest. I think Donald Trump seems more reputable in this situation from what I've seen so far, but I don't know. I whatever. I
His
don't know.
conviction certainly seems more convincing than her. I'll wrap up my thoughts. Is the timing is extremely fishy to me. This happened in 2015 when he ran, and now it's happening now when he's running. It's endorsed by Democrats completely. Her story is very inconsistent. She writes I Hate Men books. She's went after 3 others. She has, on Anderson Cooper, demonstrated some very strange and weird behavior. She wasn't able to hold up to the pressure of the prosecution, whether they were berating her or not, which means she can't show composure and she doesn't have conviction and self-truth. And I guess the last thing I would say is how desperate the prosecution is to latch on something in a deposition as silly as mistaking somebody in a fuzzy picture without glasses and hanging that over their neck. I think the crux is Donald Trump being a moron and saying that grabbing by the pussy is okay, that stars do that, and then admitting that he's a star. He is the horse that runs the 98% of the race and loses it in the last heat. And the last horse length in the last 2% of the race and goes and tries to, gets distracted or something and bites another horse. And you're like, son of a bitch, dude, why couldn't you just finish the race? He was right there, right across the finish line, punched the ticket. So I'm going to say the final thing. You don't get this on Tim Pool. You don't get this on Rogan. You don't get this on Crowder. Yeah, you do. Crowder does some good stuff. I mean, I'm going to Crowder is really good at this shit too. And Rogan's amazing. Listen, I'm not knocking anybody else. But what I'm saying is that this type of analysis is different than most other shows, is that I will remember the way I do things and the way I encourage you to do things is exactly what I did tonight. I could have broken apart anything in that deposition, but I went to the thing that was most critical that the left were saying, and all I had to prove was one thing that was wrong, that the picture was fuzzy and that his eyesight is a challenge. And Olivia saw me think the process. I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait a second.
Yep.
Wait, he said it's fuzzy. Why is it fuzzy? Do you think they printed it fuzzy? Fuck, let's find out. Wait, does he wear glasses? I don't know. Let's find out. Holy shit, he does wear glasses. And now that I can disprove that, now the entire thing is bunked to me until proven otherwise. That is the only thing you have to do to be right most of the time, is just prove one thing wrong that somebody's saying, and then the rest of it will fall apart. That is the way you defeat anyone. I've done it a million times on this show, and I will continue to do it that way. This isn't bragging if it's true. So you watch my show for that reason. Yes, we only had 105, 110 people on. I don't care. It's Cinco de Mayo.
Fridays are usually not as busy as Mondays.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to cut this clip and I'll cut it down where I explain it, and I'm going to release it as a show. I think it's worth it to do it. I think some people have asked me to do that, so I will do it. I appreciate everybody watching. Amy, I love you. Pot Pie, you're the best.
I think you should redo it. I really do. Not because this wasn't fine to cut down, but I think you need to break it down even better. I mean, I fully understood it, so I think you broke it down extremely well because I'm not savvy in the tech world. But I think if you just have
segment it and cut it and no distraction.
I don't know. Exactly, 100%.
Add a little, add a little notes to it, and so people can see it in frame. And I agree. I'll probably cut something tomorrow. It's Saturday, and I think it's worth it. And listen, Trump's lawyers are better than me. And they hire people who are 10 times smarter than me. The only thing they have to say is the defendant didn't have his glasses. Here's 75 pictures of him with his glasses. Here's his actual prescription for reading glasses. He makes a motion to find his glasses. You can't do that. The man has, listen, do you want to do a hearing test too? Do you want to go ahead and play her voice and have him try to hear that at his age? He's certainly not debilitated, but he is a man and he has grown older. And eyesight is one of the things. I'm sure you can understand that considering you're wearing glasses. So this is an easy win for him to take care of. The liberals are just trying to grab on anything. They know there's nothing here. And the same thing's going to happen in Georgia. Donald Trump is not going to be indicted or convicted of any of this shit, but this will not go away. They were telling you the moment he got out of office, the moment that he turned it over to Joe Biden on the 20th of January, they said the legal woes are coming for Donald Trump. They told you what was going to happen. Just like they said in 2016, they were going to fucking impeach him 3 hours after he was sworn in. The legal woes will continue until the election. And God forbid it is going to do what Marvel movies have done. It is going to anesthetize America, and they are so fucking sick of hearing it that they're going to start supporting Donald Trump because they're going to, every time the Democrats do this, it's just making Donald Trump stronger.
Yeah.
Go to the Don't Unfriend Me show, pick yourself up a cool shirt that Amy's wearing, I'm wearing, and Olivia's wearing, but you can't see her because she doesn't want to be on camera, even though she's super fucking hot, but has some sort of stigmatism about being online. I'm wearing my glasses. Donald Trump should wear his. This wouldn't happen if he did that. Everyone have a wonderful evening. This week,
those other shows, they don't have me either, so
no, they
need
don't.
to watch here.
They don't, or Amy, and, they don't have pot pie or holy cannoli. I'll be.
How are we both named after foods, Amy?
You're women. so you guys are around a kitchen all the time. I mean, you're always around a kitchen. Why wouldn't it be food?
Oh boy.
Oh,
100%
so sexist.
agree. And and also, that's it.
You gonna scream out pot pie later?
No, thedumbshow.com. If you want to pick up some shirts, some hats, anything cool, I will have a show for you guys tomorrow. I'll have a recorded show out on the deck. I'm enjoying my Sunday time. Once again, everybody, just stall for 2 seconds while I find my window. And I'm ready to go. Good night, everybody. Amy, I love you. Thanks for being on, buddy.
Good night, Amy.
Love you guys. Good night,
and
everybody.
real quick,
And if you want to go to dinner tomorrow night, let us know.
Get out of here. We love you. Bye.
Dinner. I can't. No, I can't.
She's already told us that her other friends are more important.
Well, if we can bring them, and I have to, they went there tonight for dinner, so I don't know if they're going to want to go 2 nights in a row. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll go.
No,
I'll
sure.
meet you guys.
Yeah, you have to wash your hair. We get it. You got to wash your hair. That's a great excuse.
I'm not washing.
I got to wash my hair.
Hat day on Saturday.
All right, we'll see you later. Leroy, everyone, see you, buddy. Leroy, you guys asked why Leroy isn't here. He's okay, love you. He said that
margaritas with his buddy.
No, that's not what he said. He has drill tomorrow. So he does actually have a buddy in town, and then he's got drill tomorrow. So he's got to do his reserve duty. All right, everybody. Good night. We love you. Go over to the Don't Unfriend Me store and buy something, or follow, like, and share. See you soon. Good night.
Night.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast the SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice than service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call